Get nasty on a Friday afternoon. It's the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis back in the house.
Yeah.
And Andrew Marsh back on the dials. Carey, it was so cute yesterday. Our little guy, Marshy, you know?
Mm-hmm. How did it go?
It was
Did it go
great.
well?
He took your spot there,
right.
hopped up, moved some things around there.
Did he? All right.
He blessed your chair.
I was wondering what that was on the chair. Didn't want to sit down yet.
Yeah,
Wanted
get
to
careful.
Make sure it was safe.
Yeah, then I got sent down. But I don't have to wait 15 days to be back on the show, so that's nice.
There you go.
Just like Michael McGreevy.
Nah.
Because, all he did is pitch 5 great innings, Carey.
Yeah, man, yeah, he was great.
He was so great that they took him out.
Well, don't worry about those things.
Well, what do you mean? I got to worry about it because the bullpen imploded and you went through 8 bullpen arms yesterday.
Well, that happens sometimes. Kyle Leahy and, John King and some of the guys. Yeah, it happens. I know we want to see pitchers pitch longer and further into games.
Uh-huh.
I am in agreement. I have to trust that the front office and the coaches and the manager know what's best for Michael McGreevy.
Uh-huh.
They didn't want to tire him out against a Chicago White Sox team that provided nothing.
Well, he only threw 76 pitches.
Yeah, you that was more than enough.
Was it?
Yeah, sure. Don't worry about it.
So I was watching the game last night, and I, too, was wondering, why is he out of the game right now? But did a little digging here, gentlemen.
You found something?
Found something.
All right, let us know.
Maybe.
You did.
What'd you get?
Could be something.
It's called stats, Carey. You're going to love it.
Let's look at his top velocity.
His velo.
His velo
That
for his
matters.
4-seam fastball. Every inning. In the first inning, 93.5.
Okay.
Second inning, 93.1.
Okay.
Third, 94.0. The fourth inning, 92.4. Fifth inning, 90.7. His lowest of the inning was at 87.8. So his
He's gassed.
velo started to dip in that fifth inning, despite having a really good outing.
Yeah, you don't want to send him out there. If he's getting gassed, 87, you said?
87.8 was the
maybe he was
lowest
doing it on purpose,
fastball in
guys.
that fifth inning.
Greg Maddux used to do that. He would, throw his fastball 92, 93, then bring it down to 87. But that was intentional. He's like one of the best pitchers to ever do it. I'm not saying that Michael McGreevy isn't. I don't know.
Not yet.
We
I don't
don't
think
know
we can
yet.
call him Greg Maddux.
We gotta
just
wait.
yet.
Though. We gotta wait. We gotta figure that out. There's still a lot of time left in his career to figure that out. But if his velocity had dropped that much, you probably are going to get him out of the game. It's probably an indication that he's laboring a little bit, even though he did get through 5 successfully. And there were a couple of hard hit balls, I think, in that last inning that might have scared you. So if the velocity is dropping, you see the fatigue setting in. You don't want to keep, because the worst thing you can do is throw him out there and he gets injured. So, or starts getting smacked around and then his confidence gets bruised. So taking him out at that time was probably the right decision. Now it's on the bullpen to do their job, and that's where you get. Riley O'Brien came in, but then John King and Kyle Leahy gave you much of nothing. I have another gripe, though. We can get to it.
Oh, no,
Let's
let's
hear
go,
it.
Carey.
So we were talking about this gentleman in the office because I think we're going to revisit this topic later. Pedro Paez. I know he's
I
the
already
catcher.
know where you're going.
What the hell? Why the hell is the ball always behind him? Why in the hell doesn't he catch? He only got 1 pass ball, but actually it was 2.
There was 3 total.
What the hell is he? What? He leads the league. He leads the majors in pass balls. It's not an error. I don't know why. It's a dumbass stat.
It is.
It's a dumbass stat. It should be an error. You let the ball go by you. If the first baseman lets the ball go by him, is that an error?
Only if he touches it.
Nah, it's an error. Doesn't matter. Catch the damn ball. It's your damn job. It's like a receiver.
You're called the catcher.
You're called the catcher, not the chaser. You damn chaser. It's a different thing, Jamie. You don't know about that. You don't chase. No, me neither. In my younger days. You're drinking that straight now. But no, it's called a catcher, not a chaser. Catch the damn ball and quit chasing it.
Yeah, I agree.
Put a Bon Herrera in. I don't give a damn. But if you can't catch the ball, figure it out.
Paez goes in because they're like, well, defensively, he gives us a bet.
Does he?
He doesn't block the ball ever. Like Yachty used to. If Yachty couldn't catch it, I know I'm comparing him to Yachty all of a sudden, but I'm just using it as a comparable. Yachty would block the pitch sometimes. just throw his body over there to stop so at least the ball doesn't get past him. I was shocked, Carey, yesterday when they kept missing him, especially at the important times.
What are you doing?
I don't know, man.
And then the one, they didn't score as the ninth inning. You allow the runner to get the second. The next ball that's hit would have been a tailor-made double play, which Marshy loves.
He does.
Runner gets to third base, and fortunately for the Cardinals, you're playing the dumbass White Sox. He's running on contact. The ball's hit right to Nolan Arenado. What are you doing? That's a dumbass
He was done no matter what, though.
That was Talkman.
He had a 2-foot or 3-foot lead to begin with, and Arenado would have been between him and the bag.
That's a terrible team.
It's terrible, yeah.
Let's call it what it is.
So, kind of going back to Michael McGreevy, do you think that Oli, and he's getting some criticism online per usual, do you think...
What?
I know, Jamie. Shocker,
wow.
Right? Do you think that this is a conversation if the White Sox don't come back and almost win that game? Do you think people are like, it is what it is?
It's a nothing burger.
Or do you think they're still complaining because you now have the Reds and the Cubs coming up, and now you, like you said earlier, used 8 bullpen arms in 2 days, and Granillo pitched twice?
I don't think he set some kind of record, but it was like some crazy stat where he got the win for the first game
and got the save.
And the save for the second one. All on the same day.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
That's
probably
great.
Not available tonight.
I don't know who the hell is going to be available.
Nobody. But I think that could be a problem that people are having with McGreevy being taken out, even though we mentioned that he was probably a little tired as his velo, Jamie, as you like to call it, went down.
I really don't like that.
You don't like velo?
No, I like velocity.
Does it feel like it feels like it's more important when you say the entire word?
Velo just
gives you more.
I feel like I'm a stats nerd. Velo. I feel you have to say it that way too. Well, his velo is down. Well, his velo was up. How about his velocity was down?
That sounds more.
I sound like a grown-up doing sports.
Velocity.
Not like a guy that's like clicking away. Oh, what? His velo's down, Carey.
Jamie's favorite team is the New York Metropolitans.
Yeah.
Doesn't like calling them the Mets.
Yeah. The old Metropolitans. I love that. Well, either way here, it's going to be interesting to see what Oli actually does with the pitching today. Like, is this a game where Pallante's just going to have to wear it? Like, no matter what's going on out there on the bump, you look at him, you're like, sorry, kid.
You're on your own.
Well, let's hope he doesn't have to wear anything because he needs to pitch well.
He should wear a uniform. I don't think going out there in his birthday suit would be.
No, no one wants to see
that. Might be distracting,
illegal.
But
you think that's illegal, isn't it? You can't be in your birthday suit in a public area. There's kids there. There's some jail time.
The kids is the problem.
There's jail. I mean, that's jail time.
Yeah.
Yeah, put them in jail right away.
I mean, I have seen people naked in public before.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Probably you.
I did one time go out to my mailbox in my birthday suit. And
just straight up birthday suit, or did you have the robe that was not tied?
No, I was just birthday suit and had flippers on.
Did you forget, or you just said the hell?
I didn't care.
You didn't care?
I think I was like 20. It was.
Were there beverages involved earlier?
Oh, I mean, like probably an hour before that.
Yeah. That usually takes away all the.
My neighbor saw me like the next day. He was a good old dude, and he said, "Yeah, I was up yesterday having my coffee on the porch. Saw you get the mail." It's like, I'd appreciate if you put some clothes on next time.
Please and thank you.
I was like, oh man. So I didn't think anybody was out there. He's like, yeah. He goes, I didn't say anything because I just wanted you to go back in the house.
He didn't want to disturb you.
Yeah.
He didn't want to slow you down.
But he gave me the heads up, buzzed the tower on me a little bit, and rightfully so. I should not have been doing that. That's just silliness.
By the way, can I read something from the text line? I don't know if I've ever seen this before. This is from Joe Boo's Jockstrap. I agreed with pulling McGreevy. Oli was right on that.
There you go.
Have you ever seen that from the text line?
That was the first time. You should archive that one and save it in case Joe Boo's Jockstrap he feels a different way tonight.
He could.
It could change.
He very well could.
But I agree. If a guy's velocity, Jamie, is dipping to the degree that McGreevy's was, you got to get him out. You don't keep throwing him out there. He's throwing up softballs up there.
Who's that?
Beach balls. McGreevy.
87
from 94.
You bite your tongue.
Yeah, the next inning would have been 80.
Could have been.
That off-speed stuff is hard to hit sometimes.
Yeah, it's not when they know it's coming. And not when it's not supposed to be off speed.
Well, either way, Cards tonight. They've got the Reds in town. These next 7 games are huge, guys.
Yeah, some would say the biggest games of the year.
I don't think they're the biggest games of the year.
Sure.
But I will say that you got to win these 2 series. You got to go 2 of 3 against the Reds and 3 of 4 against the Cubs, in my opinion.
Well, they did their part against the terrible White Sox. I said you needed to sweep them. If you won 2 or 3, it wasn't good enough. If you lost the series, it was definitely horrible. They did their job there. Now you got the Cincinnati Reds coming. Take care of your business again. Take
care of your business. Well, we can talk about that, too. The NBA, the Pacers taking care of business last night. They're going to force a Game 7. I want to talk about the NBA Finals, and I want to ask you guys if you think the NBA Finals just automatically became the best championship round in all of the major sports. We'll get into that next, right here on 101 ESPN. Gentlemen, are you suffering from low energy, low motivation, fatigue, weight loss, or weight gain, rather, muscle loss? Are you feeling anxious, maybe even a little bit depressed, low libido? All of those things are signs of low testosterone. Go check out Mentality. They've got 2 great locations, one in Chesterfield, one in South County. I was at the Chesterfield location today, in fact. And Mentality is a local healthcare facility that specializes in helping men feel and perform at their very best. They're board-certified physicians. They sit down with you, they talk to you, they find out what's going on, and then they do a full blood panel and analysis, and all of that gets done before you start your custom-made program. And once you get on your program, you're going to start to feel so much better. More energy. If your workouts, way more gains in the gym, at home, with your family, all those things, you're going to feel like a brand new man. So please get out there to either location. Tell them that Anthony Stalter and Jamie Rivers sent you in. But if you need more information, you can always check things out at mentalityhealth.com/radio. Again, that's mentalityhealth.com/radio. Padres will go to a Game 7. Welcome back here to the Fast Lane. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh. We saw last night, Carey, the Pacers put it to your Oklahoma City. That you said Oklahoma City in 3, basically.
Well, they were supposed to. They stink, though.
Didn't work out that way.
That's okay.
But the question that I've got, and Marshy came up with this, is did it automatically just become the best finals, the best championship in the major sports? Because if you look back, the World Series featured 2 of the biggest teams, the markets. You had the Dodgers, Yankees, clash of the Titans. That only went 5 games. The Super Bowl featured a rematch from 2 years ago with the Chiefs looking to become the first NFL franchise to three-peat, but got dominated by the Eagles 40-22. Bit of a letdown there, I'd say. And then the Stanley Cup, which just ended, had the Panthers and the Oilers. Last year going 7 games. This year going to 6. At 3 overtimes in that, but the last 2 games, games 5 and 6, were kind of the Panthers bullying the Oilers right out of the building.
Pretty much.
So now we've got 2 small market teams in OKC and Indiana. And they're going to go to 7 games. Is it the best one, do you think?
I still don't think so. I mean, maybe I'm a homer because I played football and I love football. I think that Super Bowl was outstanding. Now, some may say...
Should we exclude the Super Bowl, though, I'm thinking, guys? Because Super Bowl's a one-game, showcase.
This series has been... The NBA Finals has been... It has taken a lot of different turns. It was a couple of games where I was like, okay, it's over. OKC got them. They're going to finish it in Indy. They won game 4 and 5, and you're like, they don't have a chance to win. And then Indy goes home, and they win that game. So for me, and it's been kind of some blowouts here and there, which I don't know who the hell is who. I don't know which team or which version I'm going to get from night to night. The Super Bowl, for me, I thought that game had a lot of it kept you glued to the television because you felt like the entire time Patrick Mahomes is going to come back. We've seen 28-3. We've seen the greatest of all time in some people's opinion.
Brady, though.
Some people's opinion. Come back from down 28-3. And you felt like Patrick Mahomes was going to do that. I think that game was still in contention, and people still felt that the Chiefs had a chance until Devontae Smith caught that touchdown, which I think was late third quarter or middle of third quarter.
You think that people thought the Chiefs had a chance?
Until that
Carey
touchdown.
did.
So
Remember? He was into the Bud Lights there.
I was probably.
Who wasn't, though, on that night?
But Carey really must have been in there.
it was, for me, I felt like people were still glued to that game because they felt that Kansas City had a chance to come back into it. And so, for me, that game was more exciting than what I've been seeing in the NBA Finals. Because I really don't know what the hell I'm getting from game to game.
I agree with you in the sense that it's not the NBA Finals. I do think, though, if Game 7, because it's not over yet, right? If Game 7 is a blowout, doesn't matter who ends up winning, then I don't really care, but the fact that they went 7 games is good for the NBA. I'm looking at this list, right? You just listed all the different championship rounds in the last calendar year. The more I think about it, I think even though it went 5 games, I would have to go with the World Series because you had the Freddie Freeman walk-off, right? Game 2 was also pretty damn close. It was a 4-2 game in favor of the Dodgers. Game 3, Dodgers win 4-2 again, another close game. The Yankees finally get one where their offense comes alive. And then the 5th game, the Yankees are on the cusp of sending the series back to L.A. for a Game 6. Aaron Rodgers. Sorry.
Here we go.
Aaron Judge drops the ball in center field, which kind of jumpstarts the Dodgers offense, and then that game took shape. I found that to be fascinating, even though it went 5 games.
I'll disagree on the World Series just because I thought there's so much buildup for that series.
Yeah.
Judge, Ohtani, like the whole thing. And then the Dodgers just wiped their ass with them, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there were some moments. I'll give you that. But as far as like the actual outcomes, I don't think the outcome was ever in doubt. It's certainly for the series. The NHL, it was very compelling for 4 games. Very compelling for 4 games.
The 3 overtimes definitely helped the case.
100%. And the big comeback in Game 4 by the Oilers.
For sure.
That certainly, the intensity was there for that. Game 5 was just a drubbing, and Game 6 a drubbing. Now, if you're a Panthers fan, like me, and it was great. It was fun to watch. I'm Carey, and if you're not a Panthers fan, like Carey, who learned his lesson, by the way,
whatever,
for not being a Panthers fan, it was probably excruciating to watch.
It was hard to watch.
Yeah.
I didn't think that series, the Stanley Cup final, had much drama either. Like, I felt like you said, the entire time the Panthers were the better team, and you would get spurts of the Oilers fighting
But it
their
had
way.
some nastiness, though, to it.
But it felt like the Panthers were in control the entire time. It never felt like, even the games that the Oilers won, it never felt like they were the better team. It just felt like the Panthers said, we let our foot off the gas, and we're going to choke the hell out of you tomorrow.
Yeah.
They had to go to overtime to win those games. They couldn't win it in 60 minutes.
Yeah, it was frustrating.
So then what's our consensus then?
Honestly,
Because I think the
I'm still
Super
going
Bowl
Super
should be
Bowl.
disqualified. Because it's a one-game thing.
Well,
I'm sorry, it's a one-game spectacle. I'm giving you the victory. It's the best one, Carey. Football's the best.
Hey,
okay,
you said it. Mark that down. Write it down.
But I've always
Football's the best.
I've always thought that the Super Bowl was unfair to compare to any other championship because it is like
It's a game 7.
it's a game 7. It's one game wins all. The whole world is watching.
Yeah.
Anybody on any corner of the planet is watching the one game. You just have to tune in for one game.
Right.
It takes real fans, like dedicated fans, to tune in for 6 and 7 games and follow their team through round after round after round of that.
Can I say that none of them have been as compelling as the hype should have been? I don't know if there was that much hype with the NBA Finals, but there has been
for this.
The other 3. There was a ton of hype. We talked about 2 rematches, a 3-peat on the line, a back-to-back in the NHL, MLB, Dodgers, Yankees. I don't know if any of them lived up to the hype.
So let me ask you one different question right now. Do you think the NBA needed this series to go 7 games?
I think the NBA needed some superstars in this series. I don't give a damn if it went 10. Like, they can play into next week. The numbers aren't going to be as high.
What about SGA? I thought you were. Oh my gosh! You almost got a tattoo of him.
I did not.
He was close.
Damn it! I think SGA is a great basketball player. I think he had a great season. I don't think he's reached that level of superstardom to the level of still a LeBron James, a Steph Curry, a Kevin Durant, a Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like, I don't think he has reached. I think he's got a ways to go for that. And I think this NBA Finals is probably not as exciting because you don't have those big names. Even Tyrese Halliburton, who is supposed to be a star, he scores 6 points in a game. Like, he hasn't shown up at times throughout this series. So I don't know. It hasn't been as exciting, even though it's going 7 games. I don't feel like it's been as exciting as other NBA Finals have in the past.
The last Game 7 was when LeBron came back and beat the Warriors.
Terrible. Hey, that was a
Game 7 that everybody was watching.
He got a stimulus package from the NBA when they suspended Draymond. Yeah.
Carey, you missed our conversation yesterday.
I heard. I didn't hear it, but I saw the rundown. I saw you all were talking about LeBron James. And
I had to put Bradford in his place.
Did you? How'd that go?
I didn't even get a word in.
You two, back and forth?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you didn't get a word in. That's true.
Bradford needed some information.
Oh, wow.
And you know
I might
what,
have to go
Carey?
back and take a listen.
I gave it to him.
Good job.
I gave it to him
Proud of
hard.
you. Wow.
Yep. All right, it's the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. We're going to keep the good times rolling here. We're going to talk about the Dodgers and the Padres. I watched something last night that I absolutely loved. And we're going to talk about it next, right here on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals complete the sweep of the White Sox. The doubleheader yesterday featured a 5-4 victory for the Cardinals in Game 1 and an 8-6 victory in Game 2. The Cardinals will take on the Cincinnati Reds tonight. 6:15 first pitch with Andre Pallante on the mound going up against Brady Singer. Last night featured some fireworks as the Dodgers took on the Padres. We're going to get into that game and all the commotion that was involved next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Schilt and Dave Roberts trying to get at each other. We'll talk later, Dave Roberts is saying.
Yep. And that's not talking. That means in the hall. We'll see one another in the hall.
Oh, baby.
Oh, boy. Look at Shohei just waving him off. Waving off the thing.
Yeah, Shohei's turning around, telling his dugout, stay put,
right?
Fine.
Right.
Look.
And that's 100%. 100% going after him. You have 3-0. You figure you're going to end up walking him. I'm going to just drill him.
And they just threw Suarez out of the game.
He has to go. Yeah, he did. He has to go.
All right, that was last night. That audio courtesy of Sportsnet LA. Carey?
Good, clean fun, man.
I loved it. Yeah. I'm watching these guys now for a couple of days get after each other. I watched a little bit of a breakdown. John Boy had a nice little Twitter video out from not last night, I think it was the night before, where it kind of all started. A couple of hit-by pitches. Dave Roberts got chucked out of the game. And then last night, they continue going after each other. Oh, Schilt and Roberts end up chest to chest up there. That's old school. That was awesome.
Yeah. It's not... So... The Tatis hit, I don't think that was intentional because of where he got hit at. Like when you hit on the hand, wrist, I don't think they were trying to. But even, throwing inside that close to one of your better players is going to frustrate the team. And then Ohtani, obviously, that was a little bit of retaliation. So I don't blame either side for responding the way that you get. Tatis gets hit up in that area, you're going to be frustrated. You throw at the best player in the game or what some deem as the best player in the game, and he's my teammate. Oh, hell yeah, we should fight. So this is part of it. I was laughing in the office because I'm watching Schilt on one side being held back, and then Dave Roberts clearly has no chance to get through at one point. He's like, just bumping in the back of people and like, stop it, man. You guys ain't gonna fight.
They were nose to nose.
Then fight. I don't like just.
Who do you think wins that fight?
Ooh.
Because
how old is Dave Roberts? Dave looks like he's a little bit younger.
A little bit younger.
But he looks a little bit smaller.
Schilt
might have the reach.
And Schilt, we know he's got that. Yeah. He's got that other personality trapped in there.
And
might hit him with the book too.
You can't account.
You might take the glass off and stab him. with it.
You can't account for somebody that they're crazy. Like when you don't know the level of someone's crazy, you should be careful. So Schilt might have a little bit of.
I think he's got a little crazy.
But when you're lower, you got an advantage because the low man wins.
You do a double leg tuck.
Take him down.
Better get him down though.
You got to get him down. Yeah. Once you get him down, it's your world.
If he stretches out there,
it's a problem.
Not good.
Hey, get him up off you with a jab, long reach. Get him up. It's a problem.
I don't necessarily think that Fernando Tatis Jr. getting hit was intentional, but it's the third time he's been plunked by a Dodgers pitcher this season. 8 people altogether were hit by pitch. Hit by a pitch in this series. So I think in the final game, it all kind of came to a head. Manny Machado after the game.
Oh yeah.
And this adds to this rivalry, which I think right now is the best rivalry in baseball. Manny Machado after the game said, let's just hope the CT scan comes back negative. The Dodgers got to pray it comes back negative tomorrow. They better put out a candle.
Good for them. Good for him.
Now, when I watched Ohtani get plunked and then he waves back the bench and he's kind of laughing, I think that was more aggravating to the Padres than anything. Like, he didn't even react to it. Almost like it's not even worth reacting. Like, the guy didn't, like, the pitch was not even that hard. Like,
He did go up to their dugout, too, walk towards it and was saying some stuff.
He did, yeah.
What a good guy.
What if he said, I'm a triple-degree black belt and I'll kick your face in it?
He could have said
The first guy who comes out of that dugout is losing his teeth.
Maybe.
And they're like, you know what?
Okay.
He's a pretty big guy. He might just have it in him. Okay.
That's good.
I would love to know what Shohei said. He didn't have his interpreter, though. How did he do that?
I'm sure he speaks.
He can.
I'm sure
there are. Talked about this the other day. There's players that know how to speak English. Sometimes they just don't want to.
There are certain words you know how to say better than others.
Yeah.
Because those are the first words you learn.
They are.
When you're learning, depending on who you're around specifically.
Well, if you're around a
Jamie
sports
Rivers,
team,
if you're around Jamie Rivers, I'm
please
sure
and thank you. You're welcome.
Yes, and then the other four-letter words and things of that nature.
There's a couple French words that I know, other than we, that are not polite.
Close.
Hockey.
Close.
I was just saying
French
that
words?
there's a couple French words that I know that that are not we, but they're not polite words to say.
Not polite.
But I learned that from my French friend.
Yeah. Whenever I went to
French Canadian.
when I went to different countries to play, the very first words I learned were words that you don't use in a public setting.
There you go.
Ordinarily.
Generally speaking.
Unless you're in Russia, then you just let it fly.
They don't care.
No.
Hey, say what you got to say.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I absolutely loved it. I love the intensity of it. Nobody got hurt. I mean, not
Well, we don't
seriously,
know.
Well,
not
yeah.
seriously
Tatis,
hurt.
he's
Yeah,
getting an
maybe
MRI.
Tatis. I hope he's not injured.
Like I said,
they
when
better
you
put
get-
out a
Yeah,
candle.
they better put out a candle. When you get hit on the wrist, hand area, like there's a lot of small bones in that area.
Oh, yeah.
When you get hit by a fastball,
I had to have a
it
surgery on my
easily
wrist because
break-
it crushed a little wee bone in there, and it was like I couldn't. Even to this, like now, I can't bend it backwards.
I was
anymore.
supposed to have surgery and I didn't do it. In my wrist, same thing. It was something.
I
in that-
jammed it, and it like crushed a little bone in there.
Yeah. I used to have to wear a thing on my wrist that would only allow my wrist to go back so far.
Yeah, I have a metal piece. I had to play with that for a while.
I did too. It was ridiculous.
Oh,
I
God.
can't even flex your wrist as much as you're supposed
It
to.
felt like a metal shoehorn on the back of my hand.
It's painful.
We've got some audio too from Mike Schilt following all of that last night, and we'd be remiss not to give Schilty the microphone here. Schilty, what do you got?
I'd like to think not, but I can't say that. Only a couple people know that. And whether it was or it wasn't, enough is enough. You know, we got a guy that's getting x-rays right now. It's one of the best players in the game, of course, on our team. And this guy has taken shots. Okay? And before this series, you know, and I can back this up with complete evidence. You know, track records speak for themselves. Teams that I manage don't get into altercations like this because teams I manage don't throw at people. But also teams I manage don't take anything. And after a while, I'm not going to take it. And I'm not going to take it on behalf of Toddy. I'm not going to take it on behalf of our team, intentional or unintentional. It's really that simple. That's how this game's played. And you want to call that old school, then yeah, we'll play old school baseball.
That's Mike Schilt on 93.7 The Fan last night following the game. And I loved his comments. He's like, and you know what, Schilty? Say whatever you want about Mike Schilt. During his tenure here as a Cardinals manager, he did manage very old school. And there weren't a lot of cheap shots, a lot of BS. He had his players act a certain way, you know. And now he's saying, look, but after a while, you kind of have to serve justice too.
You don't allow
just
yourself
take
to be
it.
bullied.
You can't let your team continue to get their teeth kicked in, and you're telling them they can't push back.
No, you should push back. At some point, you have to push back against what is being done
Absolutely.
to you, what you're feeling. So, yeah, I don't have an issue with that.
So a little bit of Cardinals news, by the way. Little update here. Ivan Herrera, hamstring strain, has been placed on the 10-day IL. The team announced. Now the corresponding move, Thomas Saggese back up with your St. Louis Cardinals. So a little odd there that, you know, your DH/catcher goes out and you bring up another infielder.
They got three catchers.
You don't have enough infielders right now.
Don't worry about it.
Unless Sagesi's going to play in the outfield somewhere.
If he's a Cardinal, he better damn well be able to.
If I'm Thomas Saggese, by the way, I'm telling the Cardinals, play me in the outfield in AAA because I want to play in the majors. And right now, the middle infield is crowded.
Yeah.
Donovan and Wynn aren't going anywhere.
Right.
Nolan Arenado, for the foreseeable future, is not going anywhere. So there's nowhere to go, nowhere to play. This is how you end up playing. Like my first year in the NHL, I played forward.
Yeah.
At times. Why? Because I was like, I just wanted to play. I could do
the
it.
Same thing.
And I just wanted to play. So if I'm Thomas Ajacci, I'd be telling them, look, I'll still do all my infield reps and do all that stuff, but I want to also get it into the outfield and play some outfield too.
They asked me, do you want to play tailback and be the second or third string, or be the starting fullback? Yeah, I'd be the starting fullback.
Yeah.
Then I wasn't playing fullback. I went to Coach LeBeau and said, hey, can I play linebacker?
You wanted to play linebacker?
Yeah. When I wasn't playing, I went to Coach LeBeau. Hey, need a linebacker? Rush off the edge? You guys get after the quarterback. I can help you. Or I can play safety. What do you need? Then I was dead serious.
What did he say?
Nah.
You know who also wanted to change positions? When he was at CMU, fire up chips.
Did he want to change?
But he was willing to change.
He was willing. Sometimes you get told.
Yeah, it's all how you phrase it, okay? Our guy was willing to make the change.
That should be the narrative going forward.
Exactly. All right.
I was talking about J.J. Watt.
No. Sorry, Anthony.
Anthony just took shrapnel for
It
nothing.
took me 30 seconds to pick up that you were talking about Stalter.
And then I was too. Oh my God. I love you, Anthony. Hope you're doing well on your family vacation.
Yeah.
By the way, Anthony will be back Monday, so things will go back to normal around here. Won't have us idiots driving the bus anymore. All right. Can a young player realistically carve out a defined role in a win now environment? I'm going to find out what Carey Davis thinks of that coming up next year on 101 ESPN. challenges for professional sports franchises is integrating youth and getting them reps while still trying to be in the win now mode for your team. And I think that we see that in a lot of different sports, but right now in particular, let's keep it local. And we talk about, the Cardinals with what they're doing and the Blues, what they're doing as well. Carey, can a young player find a defined role on a team that's in a win now mode?
Defined role is in being a star player or just finding your niche. I do. I think you have to. I think every player has a role on a team, whether that role is major or minor, and what year you are in the league or where you are, what stage you are in your career. I don't think that matters or defines. One thing that my friend Nate Washington would always tell me, the year he was with the Steelers, he was a rookie the year they won in 2005. And he had a conversation. He was telling me, Bussy, Jerome Bettis was telling him, hey, man, there's going to be a rookie on some team that wins the Super Bowl. Why not you? So there is a role for everybody on every team, no matter where you are. And it's up to you as a player to find that role, to define that role, whether that's you're the 3-hole hitter because you're that damn good, Albert Pujols, or that you're the 8-hole hitter and you're playing right field, Jordan Walker. But it's up to you to define your role on that team. If you don't have a role, it's probably because you're not playing at the caliber or the level that is needed or required for you to have a job in that particular season. But then what can the
team do, though, to develop the player? Because if you're going to stay in a win now, window type thing for an extended period of time, you can't just run it back with the same old players. You have to integrate young players. You have to develop, too.
I think the Cardinals made that decision coming into this season.
Yeah, but Cardinals aren't really in a win now.
No, they're not. They are not in a win now.
They're accidentally in a win now mode right now.
I think they're in a win now.
But,
who would you consider a win now? The Oilers?
But the Oilers they're definitely
in a win now situation. So, but on their roster,
which is why they got rid of Broberg and Hull.
Yeah, I was going to say on their roster, who do they have that's young? They don't have a lot of young talent. They're a pretty older team. Yeah,
they're 2 years from now, the Oilers are absolutely screwed.
Correct. Yeah, so I think if you're in a win now situation, it is, but it's on the player. I still feel like it's on that player to define whatever their role is, whether that's you playing 12 minutes a night in hockey or you playing 20, 22, 23 minutes. It's up to you to force the coach to play you because you cannot not be on this team or not be in this lineup.
I think sometimes the contract plays too. If you've got an $8 million defenseman and you've got a $750,000 rookie, and that guy who's been a star player for you for how long?
Are you going to sacrifice that?
He's going to get the opportunity, though.
If it cost, I think regular season, yes. I think when it comes down to the playoffs, I think the contract plays regular season. The best player plays come playoff time.
Well, it should be that way.
So, you mentioned a player should play himself into that defined role. When we look at the Cardinals, Jordan Walker, Nolan Gorman, there's question marks, right? So you're basically saying if Jordan Walker were to simply hit the ball better and have better numbers, he would be in the lineup every single day. We wouldn't have these questions. If Nolan Gorman at the start of the season were hitting the ball better, he would be in the lineup. We wouldn't be having these questions.
Correct. I think, and that sounds very simple. It sounds but it is.
It sounds right, though.
It is right. I would tell, even at the high school level, where I coach high school football, and I would have, you don't like my son. Do you think I don't want to win? If your son can play, damn it, he's going to play. I don't. And I would tell the parents, well, do you think I don't like me? Because if I send every one of my kids to the University of Illinois or Ohio State or Oregon or Michigan or Alabama, I'd look pretty damn good, don't I? So I want those kids to have success. Even if you don't think I want them to have success for them, I damn sure want them to have success for me, if you think I'm that selfish. So the best players generally play. And if you are not performing well, then you have to, the offseason is your time, and sometimes in midseason, but offseason you have to refine your game. You have to find a way to get better in the areas that you weren't good in the year before.
So what about now, though? The Cardinals have a carousel of players. Obviously, the Ivan Herrera injury might alleviate some of that pressure, but we saw a couple days ago after Nolan Gorman has been hitting the ball really well. we were all complaining about him not being in the lineup. Yeah. So what does a player do in that particular instance when there is an influx of guys that need to play or are playing really well and are in the lineup versus you, a.k.a. Nolan Gorman, and now he's in the lineup, but this is a couple days ago where he wasn't. Like, what do you just keep playing?
Because we had the same conversation about Alec Burleson, and he's pretty much played every game since he started hitting. He batted the three hole yesterday. So it's about continue. Like you can have spurts, but it's about doing it continuously and being able to perform more times than not. If you don't perform, you don't get to play. And sometimes when you do perform, you still have to continue to show up and show out every single time until the coach has enough faith in you to say, okay, I cannot sit you on the bench today. Any day. I have to allow you to play every single day because you forced my hand to do that.
So I have a couple examples to compare the Cardinals to in terms of teams. We have the Atlanta Braves. We'll start with them. I have the Atlanta Braves, the Baltimore Orioles, and the Tampa Bay Rays. The Braves, aggressively, they promote and extend young talent early. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
But they have the young talent. Those guys that they promoted, those young guys that they locked up long term, those are stars.
And it saved them money.
It did save them money.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Baltimore Orioles, willing to let young players lead the team. You have Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman. However, they're not having a good season.
Jackson Holiday.
Yeah.
Now, that could fall simply on the pitching. But, do you see any similarities between the Baltimore Orioles and the Cardinals?
No, because
they got more talent.
Okay, what about
they still aren't performing at the level that they need to.
Tampa Bay Rays, hyper efficient at maximizing value for young players, but quick to platoon or trade them. They're two and a half games out of a wild card spot, second in the AL East. Do you think Cardinal fans would like that type of model? Heim Bloom used to work there.
Yeah, no, they don't. The Cardinals don't have the young players to do what the Braves did. They don't have the young stars. Like, if Jordan Walker were to be what we think he is, then the Cardinals could do what the Braves did with Jordan Walker. Nolan Gorman, same thing. Mason Wynn. Like, they could lock those guys up for 7-8 years, whatever the heck the market is bearing for those guys. But they don't have the star players to do that. And they don't have enough of the young talent to just go full bore like Baltimore Orioles style. They have a few young guys, but the rest are kind of like that mid to late 20s, still trying to find their way type player. And the Tampa Bay Rays, Cardinal Nation, I just can't imagine Cardinal Nation would go for that, to where, like Mason Wynn. He have him for 3-4 years, and then all of a sudden, when you're like, yep, got to go. He's going to make too much money.
We'll get the next guy in.
But that's why their fan base struggles, though.
That's true.
For real, because you can't fall in love with a player because they're not going to keep him.
Yeah.
They're just not.
Well, we kind of saw that or see that here with another team. This is why I said they show up, but you don't know who the hell they are. The fans show up.
They stand.
They stand the entire game.
Oh, he's Carey sideswiping a lot of people today.
The team is very different from when they first got here. Look a little different.
There's another team that's very different. They're built different, too. The Florida Panthers. Next segment, we're going to talk about what Bill Zito has been able to create.
Carey's nephew.
Down in Florida. And I think you're going to be shocked at some of the audio we have. It's pretty cool, man. We're going to talk about that next, right here on 101 ESPN.
grace, the character that you guys have, the way you treat each other is humbling. And it makes you want to be a better person every day, the way we all see you guys treat each other. And for that, I can say thank you 1,000 times. And I know that I can say thank you to each other from each other because of how special it is.
That was the voice of the Florida Panthers general manager, Bill Zito, and that was following their Stanley Cup championship game where they won their second Stanley Cup in a row, back-to-back. The culture has become a massive talking point in Florida, so much so that any player or any person that you talk to surrounding the team, they're talking about culture. Any player that's gone in there has been a culture guy. Like, it's wild to think about. I think there's like 6 players or 7 players that were on last year's championship team that are no longer on the team. Yet the Florida Panthers managed to replace those guys with good players, but great people too. Like Brad Marchand. People think he's a scumbag.
On the ice.
On the ice.
Yes.
But anybody who's ever played with him in any capacity, junior hockey, American League, NHL, Team Canada, love the guy. Because he's a fierce competitor who will do whatever it takes to win and do whatever he has to do to help his teammates. Matthew Tkachuk, they talk openly about how getting him is what started that culture heading in the direction that it's in now. And then you follow that up with other quality individuals, and you end up with the Florida Panthers. So it's wild to me to think that the best team in the NHL is not necessarily all the best players. When you look at the Florida Panthers, they don't have a superstar. I'd say they have stars.
Right.
Barkov, Tkachuk are stars. Bobrovsky, he's a star, but they're not superstars.
Do you think that winning, and this is an obvious question, but winning solidifies that culture? Because if we want to do like a sliding doors moment or whatever it's called, if the Chicago Blackhawks 3 years ago don't beat the Pittsburgh Penguins in one of the final regular season games of the season, the Panthers don't make the playoffs. They don't go to the Stanley Cup. Who knows if they go to the Stanley Cup the following year, and who knows if they end up winning back-to-back championships. So ultimately, does winning solidify that? Because I don't know if they have the same culture if they don't make the playoffs in year one when Matthew Tkachuk is there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna disagree a little bit here, because I think what happened first for the Panthers is when they got Matthew Tkachuk, they started developing that culture, and they started winning. It wasn't great right away. But if you look at that season where they almost missed the playoffs, the second half of that season was very reminiscent to what we witnessed with the Blues.
So it's almost like they needed that type of storyline to almost make them believe in themselves even more, to solidify the belief rather than just win. Like they could have won the President's Trophy again, but maybe they don't end up going to the Cup.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a belief system in your teammates. And when you're the underdog in that certain situation, maybe you have a little bit more belief, and that carries on into the following seasons.
So I'm going to bring up something funny, is that Keith Tkachuk may actually have played into this whole culture thing here. Because Keith Tkachuk, when he ripped the Florida Panthers, let's see here. He says, it's a whole article. Keith Tkachuk, words come at just the right time for the Panthers. And basically he goes on to say, this was right before they started winning, that the team is soft. He says the team is soft, and that the players don't commit themselves enough for each other. They don't look out for each other. And all of it, it was in an article.
I remember that happening.
Matthew Tkachuk got asked about it, and Matthew said, "Well, he's still in timeout." I mean, and he put his dad on a media timeout, because I tried to get Walt to come on and talk, and he said, "No, Matthew told me I'm done." He's like, "I can't do it." I go, I said, "I'm not going to talk to you about that." He goes, "No," I guess I can't do it. So Keith Tkachuk called the team soft, basically said they're not there to play for each other. And then they must have had a big meeting, because imagine if your dad says that, and you're like, this is one of the star players. And then following that, they started winning. And now, here we are talking about the Florida Panthers as like the model franchise on how to have culture in your locker room.
How odd is it for a player to come in from a different organization and he be the one that shifts the culture? Normally, players come in and adjust to the culture or add to the culture.
Yeah.
But and you can't. I don't think that you could say it was a bad culture. Like if you won the President's Trophy the year before, it's not like you were a terrible team.
Nope.
You just didn't have that grit or that toughness. It's very odd for me to have a new player come into an organization, and now that's who we model our culture.
So let me tell you how it happened, okay? And because I'm really glad you brought that up, because you know this, I know this. You walk into a new locker room, you don't kick the front door open and announce your presence.
No.
You don't walk in day one changing things.
Nah.
No, you get a lay of the land, you find out kind of where you are in the pecking order, and when the time is right, if you're a leader or an alpha personality, you'll recognize the moment to add something to the group. Not take over the group, add. But what Matthew, the way he did it, because it's so honest, because it's so organic for him, he didn't come in talking about, we have to do this, we have to block shot. He came in, and from what my understanding is, talking to people around the organization, he started treating everybody equal. So like the trainers, the stick boy, the lady that helps him with the tickets, the parking attendant, and the players all noticed how well he treated people. Bringing people lunches, grabbing flowers for the secretary, they're like, what the hell's up with this guy? And he's like, nah, man, they're all part of the team. Like, we're all in this together. Like, just because they don't wear the skates and that, like, doesn't mean they're not part of the team.
Just because you're not in the band doesn't mean you're not in the band.
And so players started to, emulate what he was doing there, and then they started caring about each other, too. And so slowly it changed the culture, which is probably why it explains their second half success that season. Yeah. And since that moment, they haven't looked back. And now, we've got some audio from Brad Marchand that I want to get to. Brad Marchand, just to give you a little background, he was on Instagram, Carey. Savage, by the way.
I heard.
And he thanked every team who traded or gave up on their players to the Panthers. Oh, yeah. Thank you to every team. And so here's Brad Marchand explaining some of that stuff.
We were just kind of sitting at dinner and kind of reminiscing on how we all got to this point. And, we all have our own story about, maybe not being the happiest about the situation at the time and kind of how things played out for certain guys, but we all got here, and without all of those ups and downs that guys went through and whether they got here by choice or, not by choice because they got traded or whatever, it all played a part in this team winning this cup. And, those are the things at the time that you don't always look at and want to happen, or you're not happy about it in the moment, or you don't really understand why things are going a certain way. But once it all plays out, I mean, it's just so cliche, but everything happens for a reason. And all those moments, all those teams making bad decisions to get rid of guys, and our team making incredible decisions to bring them all in. It all played a part in us winning the cup. So it just kind of came together last night. We were joking about it, and I like to have some fun. So I let everyone know how much I appreciated it.
So Marshy had a couple of things written down here, and he talked about, how do so many organizations whiff on these players, or are these players not playing to their full capabilities until they go somewhere else? I don't necessarily think, so with Forsling, that was a whiff. He got waived. He got picked up on waivers, and he's arguably the number one shutdown defenseman in the NHL right now. And Kulikov got waived by the Minnesota Wild, I think. And the Panthers picked him up because he was a Panther before, and they liked him. They thought he's a good guy. I'm going to go one step further, though, Marshy. I don't think it's teams that whiff on their players. I think this is the Florida Panthers being super savvy and knowing what they want. Because when you go through that list of transactions, it's a waiver pickup, and then all the other ones were players they traded for. You don't see a UFA. You don't see the big ticket UFA that they went and got. No, they traded. So when you trade for a player, Carey, as you know, you're specifically wanting that player. For what role? I don't know yet, but he's going to come to our
Whatever
team
role
because
you
he's a hell of a
define it,
competitive guy, and we believe he can help this team.
And we saw the same thing happen to a smaller degree this past summer with Doug Armstrong when he went and got Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway.
And Cam Fowler.
And that was a hell of a pickup.
It's unreal.
Hell of a pickup.
Look at how much that changed.
Yeah.
And Cam Fowler, too, quality guy. Broberg, quality guy. Holloway, quality guy. And look at the culture of the Blues, the shift that happened from Christmas on how they carried themselves and how they played the game of hockey. So Doug Armstrong taking a page out of Bill Zito's book or vice versa, who knows, whatever, and they're creating really good places for guys to play.
I think that when you're trading for a player, I think both things are sometimes people whiff, and then sometimes a player, like you just said, when somebody's trading for you, that means they want you.
Or they have a specific role for you.
And they have it defined. And so you go to a place with more clarity, more understanding as to what your role is, and this team wants you. Like it's the team that's trading you clearly doesn't want you anymore. So whatever soured in that relationship, it makes it a little bit, it changes the mindset as a player to go to a place where you're wanted, you feel more comfortable, you have a defined role, and you could just be the best version of yourself. I think at times, we always get caught up in, well, why didn't he perform? Well, sometimes a new place makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Like, and it's that simple. Like, they have a better staff. They have a better training
or
facility.
Or their system plays better the way you play.
It's better to who you are as an athlete. So
I agree.
It's all those things and all those factors that allow a player, when they are traded, sometimes to be better than they were.
There's one more audio I want to play, Marshy, that's Paul Maurice talking, and this is what the Florida Panthers have become. Let's go back to the beginning. They trade for Matthew Tkachuk, and he starts this, we all love each other, brotherhood, camaraderie for the team and everybody surrounding the team. And this is Paul Maurice here following the Stanley Cup championship game where he wins back-to-back. And we'll listen to what he says, and it has nothing to do with hockey.
Watching these guys interact with each other, that's been the gift to this place. That's been the best thing for me. We become, when you're burnt out, you are exhausted, cynical, and you believe you're not effective. Those are the three components to it, and that cynicism is real. It was somewhat life-altering this year to watch the way they treat each other, and I realized I could treat them the same way.
That's unreal. That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's the head coach talking about how these guys love each other. And, Carey, you played on a championship team. Not every guy on that locker room liked every other guy in the team. There's no way.
We didn't. Honestly, it wasn't there on that team. There wasn't any beef or dislike or disgruntled teammates. Like it just, we all. And I.
So then maybe that's the key.
I think so. Like, because we would go out. I've been on other teams where you go out and you might run into a guy, or you and the guy you came with.
2 or 3 guys.
We would go out in Pittsburgh, and it'd be 20, 25 guys at one place. And it's like, this is damn half the team. So that and it didn't matter whether you were practice squad, rookie, 10-year vet, offense, defense, special teams. We all hung together. Yeah. So I do think that is a recipe for success, because the thing about that is when we all like each other and love each other, I can be honest with you. I don't have to lie or sugarcoat what I see.
I don't have to fake who I am either.
I don't have to wear kid gloves. Hey man, come on, I need this from you, because it's coming from a place where, man, this is my brother. He loves me. He wants what's best for the team. I don't have to take this personally. And I think that carries more weight than all of it. I think that's what you have to have in order to have a championship team. Teams that actually are good, number one, but actually care and love one another, because you're going to do more for somebody that you care about than somebody you don't give a damn about.
You know what's funny when you say that, too, is all the best teams I've played on throughout my career, we were like that.
Yeah.
You know, one guy's out, 10 guys are out. 10 guys are out, 20 guys are out.
Correct.
Like when I played here in St. Louis, beginning of my career, we didn't win the Stanley Cup, okay? But we had really good teams.
Right.
And we all went out together. We ate, we drank, we played golf, like all that stuff. When I played in Detroit, we didn't win the Cup, but we did win the President's Trophy. And then eventually win a Cup in 08. But those guys all, like we all went out together.
Right.
And it was so much fun. And then one more thing before we go to break here is the turning point for me last year in watching the St. Louis Blues was the trip to L.A. We were in L.A. for, 6 days?
6 days, 5 or 6 days, yeah.
And we were at the same hotel for that time. Now, guys, certain people brought their girlfriends out there. Like I brought my girlfriend out there. John Kelly had his daughters there. But the way the hotel was set up was the lobby is like the main area. And everybody, almost every day at like the happy hour time, people all congregated down there. Okay? Not everybody's drinking. They're just sitting there talking. I remember sitting around at one point, sitting there talking like 10 different players. We're all sitting around talking about what they did all day. And then everybody would go to dinner, do their thing, and then congregate back there after.
Right.
That team really gelled during that time frame. They were all doing things together, whether it was walking down the boardwalk, going to the restaurant, going golfing, things like that. It galvanized that team. And from that moment on, the Blues were playing really good hockey. And I think that particular week has set the stage now for this upcoming season because most of those players are going to be back.
Right.
So it's interesting. Culture is always very, very difficult to define and explain. But when you have it and you realize that you have it, it's gold. It really is. So, all right, no lineup yet. So we're going to get into what's trending next with Andrew Marsh right here on 101 ESPN.
topics in the sports world.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending, brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. We just got done talking about the Florida Panthers. We even brought up Brad Marchand on social media, Instagram to be specific, talking about or putting on his social media, thanking the other teams around the league for all of the players that constructed the Florida Panthers roster. We also saw on social media last night Sam Bennett do his best Wolf of Wall Street impression, saying, "I'm not fast lane leaving. 8 years." Do you think he's just saying this to rile up the fans at whatever nightclub they were at last night? Or do you believe that Sam Bennett is definitely heading back to Florida to be a Panther and try and win another Stanley Cup?
I had this feeling to begin with that they already had a contract worked out and that they just weren't announcing it during the final as a distraction / you know what I'm saying? Like media to get them all fired up. Because the way Paul Maurice talked about Sam Bennett, like when he was asked about it, he was joking, and he was like, yeah, he's a terrible teammate, and I think he suffers from the bubonic plague. Like talking about how he didn't want to lose him to another team. And last night, Sam Bennett was on the stage at 11 in Miami. I don't know if you've been, Carey. I've been. It's quite a spot. Let's just put it that way. It is an amazing spot. Players were taking turns with the microphone, and Bennett did the whole Wolf of Wall Street. I ain't bleeping leaving. And so I think it's real, man.
Why would you leave?
Well, why would you leave? If they're going to give you close to $8 million for 8 years, and you're living in South Florida with a really good team, that's probably going to be good for another 4 or 5 years, maybe even longer if they get all these guys signed to long-term deals. I don't know. I think it's real. I don't think he was just drunk. I think he was drunk, but
he was probably definitely drunk. What time was it?
Oh, it was late.
Let's just say that I was still awake when this was popping up on social
Marcy's
media.
Just getting into his video games at that point.
I was putting the show together. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
I actually was. You ever get in those modes where you're like, I'm just going to do one thing,
you were in, Marcy.
and then all of a sudden... I'll tell you right now, my PS5 was in rest mode.
No.
I was in the mode
you were in.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You were definitely in the mode.
You're in your nighttime mode, Marcy.
Yeah,
We've talked about this before.
Had his glasses on.
Yeah. He was whittling away.
Back.
I get to see him building the show with a pen and a paper and a candle on. That's it.
Better leave that candle on. So we think that this is real. Something that I cannot believe is real. And we talked about the W earlier this week. Caitlin Clark gets poked in the eye, gets knocked down. Sophie Cunningham comes to her defense later in that game. Well, guys, there is a petition on change.org that has been going viral for demanding Fever guard Sophie Cunningham be banned from the WNBA. And this is what it has to say. Bear with me here. This is ridiculous. Sophie Cunningham's repeated displays of unsportsmanlike conduct during games against the Connecticut Sun have reached a point where decisive action is necessary. Cunningham has been involved in numerous incidents that have not only compromised the safety of other players, but also tarnished the reputation of the WNBA as a league that prides itself on integrity and fair play. The WNBA has always been a beacon of sportsmanship and empowerment, showcasing the talents of incredible athletes who inspire fans around the world. However, players must adhere to a code of conduct that ensures fairness and respect on the court. Sophie Cunningham's aggressive and malicious actions have violated these principles, diminishing the spirit of competition and setting a poor example for aspiring young athletes. Incidents of note included Cunningham's on-court aggressions that have led to physical altercations, injury to fellow athletes, and disruption of games, impacting both teams' performances and the overall enjoyment of fans. Her behavior not only affects the immediate players, but also threatens the league's standing in the sporting community and its image as a promoter of positive, inspiring athletics. I do not want to read the rest of this, but following the last little bit says, stand with us and calling for change to preserve the essence of what WNBA basketball truly represents. Sign this petition to demand Sophie Cunningham's removal from the league and help maintain the WNBA as a shining example of professionalism and respect in sports.
All right. Based on that, I give Sophie Cunningham a lifetime contract in the WNBA. First of all, good for this girl. Stand up there trying to rip that girl's head off. It was great. See, I talked about trying to build a WNBA player in a lab. It's a basement in Russia somewhere to come and help Caitlin Clark out. Then Sophie Cunningham, which, by the way, she is a very attractive woman. She walks in with those crazy outfits. I did a little dive today. I'm like, oh, who the heck is this? And
I didn't know.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then she gets out on the court and she's a savage.
Sophie.
So I think she's awesome. She received, 500,000 more followers or something on Instagram.
Boo that person, Marshy.
And her jersey is now the second highest selling jersey next to Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Never mind that stupid letter. Sophie Cunningham can play on my team any day of the week.
There you go. I agree.
Change.org? A petition to ban a player? How about all of the other... This is a Yahoo article.
Marshy's really upset about it.
I think the Yahoo is the one that came up with this.
Yeah.
She went to Missouri.
Yeah, she's a Mizzou grad, too, so gotta love her. Good job. Good job, Sophie. We're in your corner. Never mind change.dumb, whatever it is, okay? All right. Nolan Arenado, he hit home run 350. What?
You said it wrong.
Or wait, we got a lineup?
No. You said the name.
Carey, I'm trying to run a radio show here.
I apologize.
He meant to say, no.
Yeah,
That's what
I know,
said.
but I can't get... Do we have a lineup or not?
No, not yet. I don't know what's going on.
He has a little whiteboard, and when it's a lineup, he usually writes lineup
Why
is
do you
out.
say it that way?
It is a whiteboard that he writes on.
Why do you say it that way, though?
It's not a blackboard. Those are different. Those you use chalk on.
Yeah.
Whiteboards, you use the expo markers.
Mm-hmm. And there's smart boards, too.
They got those, too.
That doesn't belong in this room.
It's not going to come in here at all.
All right, Nolan.
Thank you.
Hit home run 350 last night against the White Sox. I want to know, has Nolan Arenado lived up to the expectations here in St. Louis? We'll talk about that next, right here in the Fast Lane.
Cheap, fun.
Let's get dirty all summer long with my friends over at Dirt Cheap. So many amazing savings going on right now, and they've got all the best beers right now. Ice cold, too. So many great. The Busch Light, Modelo, Corona. They've got that Cutwater, High Noons, Twisted Tea, Tito's, and the old Natty Lights. You can find all of those and so much more over at Dirt Cheap. And let me tell you about the bourbon selection. People think that it's Dirt Cheap. They're not going to have the best brands. No, that's not the truth. You get the best price for the best brands. I buy all of my party favors over there at Dirt Cheap. All my bourbons at Dirt Cheap. The selection is fantastic. And they also have a rewards program. Just download the app and you start saving immediately. Every time you purchase something, you punch in your code and you get points on your rewards app. You can also use the app to order ahead too. They've got curbside pickup or delivery available, and they also have drive-through at certain locations. And talking about locations, they're adding more all the time. Fredericktown, Washington, Hillsborough, and a new location coming soon in Wentzville. It is awesome right now with grad parties and 4th of July right around the corner. How about this weekend? It's going to be beautiful. I'm stopping by Dirt Cheap on my way home tonight as well. So please remember that they are your one-stop party shop. And remember to have fun, but be careful out there.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. We're still waiting on the lineup game. Once the lineup comes out, we will have the lineup game for you. It's probably because Ivan Herrera, 10-day IL. Thomas Ajayci has been called up. So once we get the lineup game, we'll see who is in the lineup, and we'll talk about that as the Cardinals take on the Reds tonight, 6:15. First pitch, Andre Pallante on the mound, going up against Brady Singer. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Nolan Arenado hit his 350th career home run last night against the White Sox. Has Arenado lived up to expectations in St. Louis? We'll talk about that next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center Update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
One to left. That one's going to soar out of here. Back-to-back homers. A
milestone for Arenado. That's number 350.
That was the call last night on FanDuel Sports Network. Chip Carey talking about Nolan Arenado hitting his 350th home run. Only 350 away from Albert Pujols.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, only. Think he gets there?
No. No, I don't.
What makes you think that?
He ain't got enough time left, brother. I love him. It ain't going to be enough time.
All right, so we've had, how many seasons Nolan Arenado been here now? 5, 6? 5?
No, it hasn't been that many.
4, 5. This is fifth.
5.
2, 3, 4, 5.
This is 5.
Fifth season.
So this
is the fifth season.
5th season with the Cardinals. Do you feel like he's lived up to the expectations of when he first got here?
I think so. I do.
Do tell.
He was a Gold Glove winner 3 of the first 4 years. Right. I think the way that he's playing third base this year, he's going to be in the running as well. You signed him. I think the only reason why people would not say that he hasn't had the success here is the playoffs. He finished 3rd in MVP voting. Goldschmidt won it that year. I think that would be the only reason you would say that he hasn't lived up to the expectations, because with him and with Paul Goldschmidt, you expected this team to win a championship or be in a World Series, NLCS, like having an opportunity to put another banner up.
Yeah.
And so the fact that that hasn't happened, that would be the only reason, in my opinion, that people would say it hasn't lived up to the expectations.
So I'm going to push back just a little bit.
Okay.
And it's not like I'm taking the full opposite stance here, trust me, because I think he still, to this day, is a phenomenal defensive third baseman. He has done things during his tenure here with the Cardinals defensively that I don't know if I've ever seen before.
Agreed.
So I am not going to take that away from Nolan Arenado. Where I get concerned and where I think that maybe he hasn't lived up to expectations is one, clutch situations. I'm not talking about runners in scoring position. I'm talking about playoff baseball.
Yeah.
He has not been great in the playoffs. Just hasn't. In fact, they haven't even won a series, one playoff series with him as a Cardinal. That's not all on his shoulders. I get it. But him and Goldie had big expectations, and Goldie and Arenado kind of cooled off come playoff time.
Yeah.
And that's not all on Arenado. It's on Goldie, too, and there's other guys, too, during that time. But the lack of playoff success is one thing. And then Carey, I have to look at his offensive numbers. In his first 2 seasons with the Cardinals, he had 34 and 30 home runs, 105, 103 RBI. Okay? Those are good numbers.
Yeah.
But then it started to drop. Year 3. 26 home runs, 93 RBIs. Year 4, 23 home runs, 71 RBIs. This year, 11 home runs, 38 RBI so far. Like that constant dip for me, so you really only got 2 prime offensive seasons from Arenado. So for me, he hasn't lived up to the expectations, because right now, offensively, he's been as low as 6th in the order.
Yeah.
First time in his career.
But I also feel like he's 34 years old. He's getting to that age where, your ability, not you still feel capable of doing all those things, but I think things start to slow down the older you get. We talk about it all the time. You don't normally get better as you get older.
Expect that much of a drop off? Like, look at Goldie this year.
Well, how many
he's
home runs does he
reactivated?
have?
He's 11 right now,
and he had 16 last year. So he's gonna surpass that. Hopefully.
I don't know. Would you put money on that?
That he won't get past 16 home runs?
Yeah.
I'm not betting you no more.
He's also playing in a little league ballpark.
Who?
Goldie.
I'm just saying, Goldie's back to swinging the bat.
That's fair.
My point is, Goldie's older than Arenado too.
Yeah, but
so I don't want to hear. But I don't want to hear the age
was
thing.
in that line.
Nelson Cruz was hitting home runs at 42. So I don't want to hear the age thing.
So how many home runs? So he has. You said 11 right now.
11 right now.
How many do you think he ends up with? He'll definitely. If he doesn't surpass 16,
I don't think he
that's a
passes
problem.
16.
That's a problem.
I know.
Yeah, that's 5 home runs.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Jamie,
I know.
Yeah, he'll surpass that. And the pop hasn't been
anywhere
as frequent as we were accustomed to his first few years. But
yeah,
I think he's gonna. I think the version of him now is the version that still gives you stellar defense. He's gonna be. I mean, he makes absolutely phenomenal plays at third base still.
Yeah,
bare hands it, throws it over. You know that the ball hit to him is probably going to be an out. Still got a good enough arm, gets the ball out quickly. That part of his game has not diminished at all. The part that has is the batting. But as you said, he's batted as low as sixth. That's fine. If he's a six-hole hitter and he hits you 15 to 20 home runs, you're mad about that? No, you're excited.
I don't know, though, because his slug, during those first 2 seasons, his slug was at 494 and 533. Then the following year, 459, you're like, eh. But the last year and this year, Carey, 394, now 397.
And he only has 9 home runs.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He only has 9 home runs. Yeah.
See, that would have been a sucker's bet. See how you did?
I didn't do that on purpose. I was looking at doubles. I don't know why. I must have not had my headphones in. I couldn't see. But, so 9 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
You still want to take that bet?
Hell no. I didn't want to take it at 11.
We need to stop doing that because...
what?
You know, just getting in these friendly wagers.
Why?
Because it hasn't worked out for us, Carey.
It's just one wager.
Just saying.
It wasn't even, we call it a punishment.
Jamie was supposed to do a Waffle House challenge. What happened?
No, I didn't agree with it.
That's true. You know what? Until he does his Waffle House challenge, maybe we shouldn't dye their damn beards.
I wasn't even here when you guys committed me to something that I would have said no to. Anyways, I'm curious to see what Cardinals fans think. Let's open up the mic drops here. And ask right now, do you think Nolan Arenado has lived up to expectations? Just get on the 101 mobile app, clip the little microphone, and tell us what you think. I'm curious to think what people think. We've got people here on the text line.
Jobu Jockstrap says Arenado has been known for his defense, has always been known for his defense more than his offense. I think Arenado has done really good. I think we all expected unrealistic levels. And I think that's probably...
He's being paid like a superstar. Sorry.
Oh, Jobu's Jockstrap? How much are you paying him?
I'm not paying him.
What the hell is he doing?
Hey, don't worry about what goes on between him and I, okay? But no, Arenado's being paid like a superstar.
So here's the other question.
He's not even a star anymore.
Here's the other question. Were those numbers somewhat inflated because he was playing in Colorado?
No, those are numbers that were here in St. Louis.
No. I mean the home run numbers.
Yeah.
So
what are you talking about? All I did is
34, 30, 26.
I'll tell you if you let me.
I'm trying to ask, but okay.
The numbers I brought up.
Well, which numbers are you reading this time?
St. Louis only. I didn't even go to Colorado.
All right. I mean the doubles are the home runs.
The home runs.
Okay. 34, 30, 26 in his first 3 years.
Yes.
And then 16 dropped off a cliff.
Yeah, now 9.
Well,
you're paying him like a superstar, and he's average.
They tried to fix that.
He's not even average, I don't think. He's below average.
I think he'll be an all-star.
When?
I don't know.
He'll
win a gold. I think he'll be top 3 in a Gold Glove finalist. He probably won't be an all-star.
He ain't getting a Gold Glove.
I said top 3.
I know that. Fine, great. He's on the podium.
Yeah,
I like to celebrate ribbons too, Carey. What's wrong with you?
You only get a ribbon if you don't finish on the podium.
Whatever.
You get a medal when you're on the podium.
Yeah, not the right one unless you're at the top of the podium. Okay. What's up, Marshy?
We had text from 314 talking about the mic drops. Janet is gonna come in hot. Strap in, boys.
All right. Well, I can't wait for that. No lineup yet, so we're going to continue talking about your St. Louis Blues. Jeremy Rutherford had a article in The Athletic talking about the perfect offseason for the Blues in 5 steps. Easy 5-step program, Carey. We're going to talk about that next, right here on 101 ESPN. It's a Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. Our guy, Jeremy Rutherford, who does great work over at The Athletic, has a little preview here of what the Blues are going to do in the offseason, and he put it in 5 beautiful steps.
Easy steps.
Easy, yeah.
Get it done.
Yeah, I don't know about easy, gentlemen.
What? It's easy. To sign Sam Bennett and Aaron Ekblad.
5 easy steps.
That's 2 steps right there.
Oh, okay.
We re-signed Hofer. That's 3.
Okay.
I think that's on the list.
I don't know.
You're making up your own list. Would you like to know JR's perfect offseason for the Blues in 5 steps? We're going to start with drafting Jack Nesbitt from the Windsor Spitfires. He is a centerman. So drafting Nesbitt at number 19. Thoughts on the Blues drafting a centerman?
I think it's great because at some point, Braden Shen, Oscar Sundqvist, Radek Faksa, whoever you have as your center iceman, they're getting older.
Yeah.
And this player here drafted at 18 years old, by the time he's 21, 22, 3-4 years down the road, might be able to make an impact at that point. So I like it. I like it a lot.
You line it up perfectly with the contracts that you have now. Hopefully when those contracts expire, if you don't re-sign those players, you have players in the pipeline ready. You got Dalibor Dvorsky, and if you draft Nesbitt, you got another guy that is ready to take over those spots. So you're not out shopping in the free agent market trying to spend a bunch of money. You got guys ready to roll.
I like it.
The second step, and this one might be difficult. Sign Sam Bennett in free agency.
Hey, look, JR, I love...
Get it done.
I love your chutzpah, as they say. But that is going to be a very difficult task. One, we found out from Sam Bennett last night whether he was sober or annihilated. I'm not sure. He said he's staying.
I'd be disappointed if he was sober.
I was super disappointed, by the way.
Yeah.
Unless he doesn't drink.
That's fair.
And if that's the case, then he was still having a hell of a time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but if he does, and I can tell you, all right, when did they win? Wednesday? Tuesday?
Tuesday.
What's today? Friday? That was Thursday. Oh, listen. If give him 2 weeks before he sobers up.
It's a solid.
If he does drink.
So it's a solid 7 days for sure.
At least.
For sure. And then some teams take a team trip too.
Yeah,
we go somewhere. Like I know the Blues went to Vegas after they won it. I think a bunch of guys went again this year following seasons. Usually like the postseason like getaway type thing. Yeah. But I do remember in 2008 when I was with the Red Wings and they won it, and like it was a week easily of like not barely getting home.
Yeah.
And then for me, I extended it a little bit. It was probably like 2 weeks.
People call that a bender.
Yeah.
They call it what they want. When you win a championship,
this is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right, the third step is to re-sign Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway long term.
Yeah, okay? I agree. And I think that's very doable. I don't see any world in why you wouldn't. I just don't. I don't see why Army would want to go one more season. Here's my thoughts. Is I don't know why Army would want to go one more season for 2 reasons. One, what if you piss off the players? And they've already signed offer sheets before. And then they have, like, let's say Holloway has a 35-goal season. And now he's like, you know what? I'm going to the highest bidder.
Right.
I want to go to Florida. I want to play. I want to be a Panther or whatever, right? And then you also run the risk of them having career years.
Yeah.
And then what? Now the price goes up. So if I'm Army, I'm sitting down very, very frankly with their agents and saying, look, man, we want them to be Blues for the next 8 years. How do we get there?
What is that number?
I think it's 8 times 8.
8 for 8.
Because you're kind of overpaying at the start of the contract.
Okay.
You know, because you paid, for Broberg, you paid probably what ended up being market value for what he brought to the table. At first, it was overpaying. Then when he played, you're like, okay, no, he's actually worth that kind of money.
Yeah.
Holloway, you actually underpaid based upon the production you got. He was probably a $4.5–5 million player. So you're going to give him a $3 million raise at the start of it. That's like, hey, here you go. You were overpaying here. But by the end of that contract, $8 million might be underpaid.
Gotcha.
But either way, it'll balance itself out.
Well, and two, you already have two other players that have that same contract. Yep. So I feel like...
And you're not putting anybody above another player.
Exactly. Yep. I think that's smart business.
Thank you.
Good job, Jerry.
Number 4. Just taking a second to think.
Sure,
you said thank you for something that Doug Armstrong did. The 4th step is to re-sign Cam Fowler to a 3-year extension.
Yes, let's go, baby. Let's get it done. What does Cam Fowler make anyways right now? I think it's like 4
million?
3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's Cam Fowler is a $4 million player at 33 years old. Do you think Cam Fowler gets a raise?
Do you think he cares?
I think everybody cares.
Well, yes, but
3 for 12? You're good with that?
I mean...
You gonna give him 3 for 15?
Yeah, probably do 5
million a year.
I think he's worth that. You give a 33-year-old defenseman 3 years, $15 million.
We can do it.
I think that gets it done.
Get it done.
Plus, he likes St. Louis.
Yeah. He does. Loves it here.
I say we do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Get it done.
Step number 5, trade Nick Leddy.
What?
That's step number 5.
No Hofer signing in there?
No Hofer
doesn't
signing.
like Hofer.
Trade Nick Leddy.
Hang on here.
But maybe in doing so,
let's write this down.
That allows you to
hates Hofer.
Sign Joe Hofer to an extension.
I think the obvious moves here for Army in the offseason, if you can't find a top 4 right-handed shot defenseman via trade, then you have to keep Justin Falk. You have to. And at 6.5, it's not hurting you. We saw last year when the roster's healthy, there's just nowhere for Nick Leddy. He stepped in and played great. When Parayko was out, having Nick Leddy that was great. But then the playoffs, I know he was a little banged up and stuff, didn't have a great playoff. Let's see here, he's 34 years old right now. He had his least productive season in a long time this past year. $4 million getting off the books. To me, the reason you look at that is I don't see a path to where Nick Leddy's part of this team following next season. So I agree with that. If you can move on from Nick Leddy, you do, and you pocket that $4 million cap space. Just don't know if anybody's going to be knocking them down the door to trade for Nick Leddy. Maybe it's a deal back to the Chicago Blackhawks or the San Jose Sharks or somebody who can stomach that payroll coming in, and a good veteran guy who's got Stanley Cups on his resume. I think he's a hell of a guy, too. So, all right. Well, it's time for the Gauntlet. Carey, I put an end to VIP Pat yesterday.
Thank you. Good
so
job.
We're going to need a new Gauntlet contestant. So why don't you text in to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646, and we'll do the Gauntlet right here on 101 ESPN.
4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
4:01 p.m. on Friday. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers. Time for the Gauntlet. We go out to our Callier and Thompson phone line. We got Anthony with us today. Anthony, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm doing good.
Good. All right, so VIP Pat got eliminated yesterday, which means you have your pick of the litter. So is it Marshy, Carey, or myself that you're going to play against today?
I think I'm going to go with Carey Davis.
Carey Davis.
Good luck, Anthony.
All right, you too.
All right, so Carey's going to move his way into the cone of silence. While he does that, Anthony, can you please tell my guy Andrew to spin that wheel?
Marshy, spin that wheel.
All right, buddy, talk to me. What do you want? What do you don't want?
I'd say since I'm playing Carey, I'll take anything but football. So I'm probably going to get football.
Okay, well, you didn't get football.
Okay.
You got hockey.
Okay.
All right, you feeling okay with hockey?
I'm all right.
Okay. All right. You think you're better than Carey, though. I think that's the main thing. Okay, bud. So it's going to be 4 questions, each of them worth 2 points. If you use the options and get it right, it's worth 1 point. Wrong answer, nothing, of course. And if we're tied after 4 questions, we'll have a tiebreaker, and we'll get a winner here in the Gauntlet. Anthony, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, buddy. Again, the category's hockey. Question number 1. Name the last Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup.
I'm pretty sure it's the Montreal Canadiens. Final answer.
Okay, thank you.
Question number 2. Before the Edmonton Oilers this year and last year, name the last Canadian team to be in the Stanley Cup final.
Let's see. I know Vancouver was in it within the last 10 or so years. Trying to think if there was any other. I'm just going to shoot my shot and say Vancouver Canucks. Final answer.
All right, question 3, Anthony. The last time a Stanley Cup final ended with an overtime goal to seal the series, who scored that game-winning goal?
Give me the options.
Was it Alec Martinez, Alex Ovechkin, or Chris Kunitz?
I have no idea. We'll go with option C.
Chris Kunitz?
Yes, sir. Final answer.
All right, thank you.
And question number 4. The last time the Stanley Cup final ended in 6 games, which team won the Stanley Cup?
I'll take the options.
Options are the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Tampa Bay Lightning, or the Colorado Avalanche.
Avalanche. Final answer.
All right. Let's get Carey Davis back in here. Anthony, how you feeling, bud?
Okay.
All right. I like that. Carey's coming back in here. What's wrong, buddy?
That was fast.
You know what that means?
That means I need to pack a lunch.
Yes.
Yeah. Carey, your category is hockey.
Oh, man, I've been getting smoked in hockey.
Pack a lunch.
Just sat down.
I know.
Anthony knows this hockey, huh? Let's do that hockey.
All right, here we go. Carey, question number 1. Name the last Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup.
Oh. What? It's in 93. We've talked about this 100 times.
Uh-huh.
God, that's gonna hurt. Canadians, Oilers. Canadians, Oilers. Oh, that stinks. Canadians, final answer. Ooh, I hate that.
Question number 2. Before the Edmonton Oilers this year and last year, name the last Canadian team to be in the Stanley Cup final.
This year and last year, before them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Give me the options.
Options are the Ottawa Senators, the Montreal Canadiens, or the Vancouver Canucks.
Canadians, final answer. One of those is wrong. Never have two answers back to back. That's what I know about the damn Gauntlet. You never have two answers the same back to back. Damn it! One of them's wrong.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Can we proceed, please?
Just pissed off. Sorry.
I can hardly tell. All right, Carey, refocus.
All right.
Question 3. The last time a Stanley Cup final ended with an overtime goal to seal the series, who scored that goal?
Oh, options.
Was it Alec Martinez, Alex Ovechkin, or Chris Kunitz?
Let's go Ovi. Final answer.
Question number 4. The last time the Stanley Cup final ended in 6 games, which team won the Stanley Cup?
Oh, 7. I don't know how far back I gotta go. Tampa Bay Lightning. Final answer.
All righty, let's go over these.
Very nice.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, let's go with question. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out the order here. That's
I think we should just go down the line.
Yeah, all right. Name the last Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup. Gary Davis without the options. The old Montreal Canadiens.
Finkel, I know.
Anthony said the Montreal Canadiens. Answer is...
It is the Montreal Canadiens.
Neither of you needed the options. 2-2 after 1. Next question. Before the Edmonton Oilers this year and last year, name the last Canadian team to be in the Stanley Cup final. Anthony, you said Vancouver Canucks. Carey, you also said the same answer as the first one, Montreal Canadiens.
Never the same answer.
Answer is...
Well, that was a weird year after COVID because the Tampa Bay Lightning indeed played a team that is in the Eastern Conference, the Montreal Canadiens in the Stanley Cup.
What? Yep. Gary Davis up 3-2.
That doesn't mean everything else is good. All right.
Question 3. Don't go celebrating too soon, buddy. The last time a Stanley Cup final ended with an overtime goal to seal the series, who scored that goal? Anthony, you said Chris Kunitz with the options. Carey, with the options, you said Ovi, Alex Ovechkin. Marshy, answer is...
It is Alec Martinez.
Alec Martinez.
Do you guys know which former Blue got an assist on that goal?
Well, it was L.A. that scored it. I'm trying to think of a former Blue that was there at the time. Oof. Kopitar shot the puck, I believe, and the rebound went to Martinez, who beat Henrik Lundqvist, but I don't know.
I believe it was Kyle Clifford.
Really?
I believe he got the secondary assist on that.
Wow. Okay. Oh, Cliffy.
The big red
Forgot
dog.
about his tenure here in St. Louis. Okay, last question. Gary Davis holding a 1-point lead. The last time the Stanley Cup final ended in 6 games, which team won the Stanley Cup? Anthony took the options. He said the Colorado Avalanche. Gary Davis did not take the options. And he said the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Were they an option?
Who were an option?
You're saying
the options were Pittsburgh Penguins, Tampa Bay Lightning, and Colorado Avalanche. If it's the Avs, we got to walk off. If it's anybody else, Carey gets the win today. Marshy, answer is?
It's the Colorado Avalanche.
Walk it off.
We got to walk off. All right, Anthony, here's how it works, bud, I'll have one question here for the tiebreaker. Don't answer the question right away. Carey Davis will write down his answer. When I have his answer locked in, I'm going to come right to you, and we expect an answer quickly so that nobody at home thinks you're Googling things. Sound good, buddy?
All right, got it. Yep.
Okay. Alex Pietrangelo played 12 years in St. Louis. How many games did he play as a Blue?
12 years. Oof.
All right, we have Carey Davis's answer locked in. Anthony, what's your answer?
910.
Okay. Okay. This is interesting. So again, Alex Pietrangelo played 12 years in St. Louis. How many games did he play as a Blue? Carey Davis, what was your answer?
950.
And Anthony was 910. Anthony.
You have chosen wisely.
The answer, 758. What? Anthony, you got him, man.
All right, I'll take it. Good game, Carey.
Congratulations, man. You'll be back. One, you get to enjoy that win all weekend long. Tell all your friends about it. They'll be impressed for sure. And then Monday, we get you back here, and you'll have either me, Marshy, or Anthony Stalter. We might have some Anthony on Anthony crime here on Monday. Who knows?
All right. Okay, I'll have to think about that over the weekend.
All right, buddy. Have a great weekend, and thanks for listening. Thanks for playing.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. Talk to you Monday.
Yep. Carey, what was your math there? Because I saw you whittling away.
12 years
12
as
years.
a Blue?
Yeah.
I did 82.
But that's assuming he's not injured ever.
Times 10, which gave me 820.
You'd been better off with that one.
I probably would have. And then I added.
What? I would have subtracted a little bit.
No, I was just, math is bad.
And you're trying to do it fast.
Yeah. That was too many.
Oh, man. All right. Well, Anthony got you on that one. Marshy, do we have a lineup yet?
Let me check.
Please check that out. Because Cardinals got a game to play tonight.
No lineup.
No lineup. Always
on
play.
MajorLeagueBaseball.com.
They're not playing.
MLB.com. No lineup.
Well, it's here, the game.
Yeah, it's hot outside.
It's beautiful. It's actually a perfect night for a baseball game.
Too hot.
All right. Well, then let's get into the sports six-pack. Then we might as well start that. Air Comfort Service text line is 314-399-9646. Get your questions in right now for part one of the sports six-pack here on 101 ESPN.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com. Must be 21 years of age or older. Drink responsibly.
Welcome back here to the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Time for part 1 of the Sports Six-Pack.
Question number 1.
All right, we get an interesting question from the 636. You and your partner get a fully paid week's worth of vacation to one of the best resorts in the world. Only catch is the person you find the most annoying in the world is your third wheel. Do you suck it up and go?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No problem. I don't care. I'll get that person so freaking blind drunk, they'll be leaving me alone fast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
well,
no
I'm
problem.
going regardless.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like they're not with me. They have their own room, right?
Person you...
Well, then, can I pick?
Like,
no, I can't do that. That would be, actually, I would do that. I'm sick and twisted like that. Yeah.
Depends on who that person is. I think I still would go.
Like, okay, so then let's Marshy be the judge. On this one.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the third wheel, and I was going to be like, what the hell?
Hey, you're welcome. Okay. Like Carey has ex-fiance, and I have an ex-wife. That wouldn't qualify, would it?
I mean, just depends. Who do you think is the most annoying person in the world?
I actually don't view her as the most.
She's not the most annoying person to me either. So
we're
that's
fine.
fine.
We're back in. We're back in. Yeah. All right, we're going.
Okay. Glad we had that settled.
Yeah.
Question number 2.
All right, this one comes from Marshy's Hat Collection. Which sport does it take the longest to develop a player, and in which sport is the quickest?
Oh, wow.
I think the quickest is basketball. You've had guys go straight from high school to make the pros. I think the hardest is probably baseball. Take the longest amount of time. Or hockey.
Hockey, too. You get a guy, you draft a kid at 18, and he may not play a game of NHL hockey until he's 22, 23.
Yeah. So I think baseball and hockey
Baseball and hockey, probably. And they're the two leagues that have the most developed minor league system, too.
Yeah.
Like basketball has different little leagues and stuff, but it's not the same.
But it's not nearly the same. Most of your guys are being drafted from overseas in basketball or from college.
Yeah.
And they're generally ready to play right away after they get drafted. Same thing with football. You spend 3 or 4 years in college, you're drafted in the first round, you're going to play right away. First round draft picks in baseball and hockey, like you said, take years.
Could be, yeah.
You're just talking about the kid Nesbitt. They draft him in the first round. He might not be here for 3 or 4 years. So
I'd say it's definitely baseball and hockey.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can pick one over the other. I think it probably depends on the player.
Yep.
Question number 3.
From the 217, Ivan Herrera got hurt after catching a game yesterday where, again, he didn't throw out a base runner. Should he be relegated to DH in emergency catcher?
I think they should just not have a catcher. Paez lets the ball go back past him. I told you. So I don't know if you were here the day. I told you I used to umpire Little League Baseball. And I was
God, I would love to see that.
I was the ump behind the plate.
You got to wear the big chest protector?
I did, but there was a kid who didn't catch the damn ball. And I got hit once, another time, 3 times, shin, thigh, chest. Time, coach, hey, you're going to have to get somebody back here to catch. Or we're not playing. I'm not going to keep getting hit. So that's the Cardinals. Just don't have anybody back there. You got a home plate umpire, ball hit him in the chest, boom. It'll stop right there. Then the pitcher can go fetch the ball.
I don't know. I don't know if Herrera is really in the plans for the Cardinals long term as a catcher. I could see the Cardinals moving him to DH full-time, backup catcher, and eventually I think the succession plan for Herrera is what they did with Contreras.
First base?
Move him over to first base at some point.
Question number 4.
This one comes from DJ Paulie T. I know it's still early, but which teams do you have going to the Super Bowl this year?
Don't ask Carey.
Ravens and the Eagles. Next question. Question
Well, I knew
five.
Carey's going to talk about his Ravens.
That ain't not my Ravens.
But you always pick them. You love them.
I do. I like Lamar Jackson.
What team does he play for?
They just got Jair Alexander. Their defense is going to be better. They have.
What team do they play for?
They play they play for the Ravens.
Sorry, what? Yeah, a little louder, please.
Play for the Baltimore
From the back,
Ravens.
yeah.
But here's the thing: I do not like the Ravens.
Good for me.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
So
like Lamar.
this one's easy. The Lions are going to the Super Bowl for sure.
Come on.
And they will probably play the Bills. I think the Bills get over the hump this year. I got Lions and Bills.
I think the Bills make it this year, too. NFC side, it's hard to go against what the Eagles are building right now. And we're in an era right now where we're starting to see teams go to multiple championships. We just saw it with the Panthers. We'll probably see it with the Dodgers. We've obviously seen it with the Chiefs. So I could see the Eagles going back, representing the NFC, and then I think this could be the year the Bills ultimately get over the hump and go to the Super Bowl. So I'll go with Eagles and Bills.
I don't think the Bills ever get over the hump.
But, okay. So
I didn't say they got to win the Super Bowl.
No, I mean,
So let's go
over
over
the
the-
hump to get to the Super Bowl. I don't know that they.
who stands in their way? Obviously, the Ravens. We're anticipating.
The Chiefs.
But how much do you trust Lamar?
I trust Lamar a lot.
Because his
I do.
last few playoff appearances are less than desirable.
So that game, was it the Bills this year, or was it the whatever game it was, the AFC Championship game, or not the AFC Championship
They
game,
didn't
to
get
go
there.
to the AFC Championship game? You had an opportunity. Zay Flowers fumbles as they're going. I think it was the Bills. Zay Flowers fumbles going into the end zone. Like there are, or maybe it was the Chiefs. I can't remember. But either way, there were opportunities in that game for Baltimore to win that game, and unfortunately, other fact. That was Mark Andrews dropping the pass as well. So that was this year. I think Zay Flowers was last year, 2 years ago, where Zay Flowers fumbled into the end zone. Mark Andrews dropped the pass going into the end zone this year. So those are things that are outside of Lamar's. That has nothing to do with Lamar.
It was the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, Mark Andrews drops the ball, doesn't catch it on the goal line. That puts you in a position to win that game. You lose.
Yeah.
And then the year before, Zay Flowers fumbles going into the end zone. So those are factors outside of Lamar's doing. He has no control over some of those things. So now you got to get all those guys on one accord, and I think he's one of the best players.
I just don't think it's an automatic for me. I just don't.
I don't think your Lions are an automatic for me, Jamie.
Hey, listen, Carey. What you just did there, by the way,
it was rude. I know.
Not only was it rude, you just clarified that the Ravens are your team because you said, no, I don't think your Lions are going to get. So your Ravens.
Your Lions is what I was referring to.
He attacked my team because he thinks I attacked his team.
No, you attacked my choice.
But then you said your Lions. So
Because they are your Lions.
Against
Just
your
like they're
Ravens.
your Buccaneers and your Patriots. You haven't talked about those two. You don't give a damn about them anymore.
Not much to talk about. Those two kids have veered off the course a little bit. We're not speaking very much anymore.
Question number 5.
We're rolling along right now.
We're up against it, Marshy.
We're fine. We're fine. From the 636, thoughts on Jonathan Toews becoming a Winnipeg Jet?
I have no thoughts. This to me is very interesting. He's taken a year and a half off or something, almost 2 years off of hockey, and he wasn't good his last year playing. I know that he had some I
think he had the long COVID.
The long COVID.
Oh, man.
Whatever that is. And if it's terrible, then I apologize for seeming heartless about it. But he's, 36 years old now?
He's getting up there.
I think he's 36 years old.
No, you don't like older people?
It's not that, Carey. They're just usually when they take a year and a half to 2 years off, they're not as good as when they left the last time.
Not if you... No, definitely not.
I know he went... he had the ayahuasca.
Oh, him and Aaron?
Yeah,
Aaron?
he started doing some of that stuff too, and So, anyways, the Jets signed him. I think it's a $2 million deal where he can make up to $7 million in bonuses and things like that. I'm all for signing a veteran player. Like if the Blues signed Corey Perry for some reason, or when they brought Ryan Suter,
we go to the Cup and lose.
But if you get Ryan Suter, those are players that didn't take time off and they're very serviceable. I just don't know how serviceable Jonathan Toews will be. So I don't think much of the move.
Question number 6.
We get a message from Gator in the Snake Pit. Snake Pit pool party at Jamie's. Now that would be cool. Would you guys, would you rather host a big party Gatsby style and be the host, or would you rather attend it and not have to deal with all of the guests?
Oh,
I'd rather attend.
Oh, I like to throw that party, baby.
Do you?
Hell yeah.
I just think about the cleanup afterwards.
I don't.
You hire people.
Thank you. For my parties, Carey, we got a bartender.
Yeah.
He
Keep the party going?
Yep. And then we get the music going. I'm telling you. Yeah, if the weather's beautiful like this, and with the backyard and the pool and all the setup that we've got now at the house, I'd love to throw the party.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I like going to parties too. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean
Absolutely.
I don't want to go. I like going too, but I think it's fun to host because then you can have it exactly the way you want it to be.
Absolutely, old sport.
Huh? You say old sport?
Yeah.
What the hell does that mean?
It's from Gatsby, the great Gatsby.
What does it mean though?
To ask him.
Means
Then
you're
why'd you
the
say it to me?
old sport. You're the old
It's a
sports
compliment.
guy. That's what he said.
Is it?
You're the old sports guy.
Hang on, Carey. Hang on a second. You don't know what it is, but you told me it's a compliment. How do you know that?
Because I watched the movie and I kind of read the book in high school.
Okay, but how do you kind of know what it means? And you don't.
Yeah, it's like a compliment. It'd be like calling you a friend.
I think that's a lie.
Old sport.
If I don't think it's a compliment, is it a compliment?
Hey, that's on you, though.
I do agree with that. Now,
If I called you Bud, hey, I am
I'm not your bud, okay? Okay, old sport. How's the corner treating you?
Terrible. Get the next segment, please. Damn it.
Oh, man. All right, that was the Sports Six-Pack. A lot of talk, we'll say, rumors swirling, all sorts of things regarding Connor McDavid's future in Edmonton. Let's talk about Connor McDavid and what he might do and if the Oilers can keep this thing going in the right direction. That's next here on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Thomas Sajaci has been recalled from Memphis as Ivan Herrera has been placed on the 10-day IL with a left hamstring strain. The Cardinals will take on the Cincinnati Reds tonight with Andre Pallante on the mound going up against Brady Singer. First pitch is at 6:15. If you've missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Connor McDavid. Does his future in Edmonton hinge upon the Oilers' success next season? We'll discuss that next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Winning would be at the top of the list, and then it's the most important thing. If I feel that there's a good window to win here over and over again, signing is no problem. Yeah, again, it's only been a couple of days. I'm sure we'll get into it over the course of the next couple of weeks. But again, I'm not in a rush to make any decision, so I don't think that there needs to be any timeline. You know, I know people are going to look at that July 1 day and be looking to see if there's anything done. But for me, I'm just not in a rush that way.
All right, that was Connor McDavid, compliments of Sportsnet up in Canada. That was his end of the season press conference. And he talks about winning being the most important thing. And, you know, when you're that great of a player and you haven't won it yet, he's 28 years old. He has not won a Stanley Cup yet. He's been to the final twice now. Heartbreaker last year in Game 7. And this one, heartbreaker in different ways because he couldn't get the job done and he lost in 6 games. It wasn't even close the last 2 games. So 2 different ways to lose in the final. Either way, you lost both times, which stings. And it stings a lot for some of these players that are elite like that. So the situation is this. Connor McDavid has 1 season left at $12.5 million, and then he becomes an unrestricted free agent. Stan Bowman was, it was his turn for the presser today in Edmonton, and he said his number 1 priority is getting Connor McDavid locked up, but that he respects Connor's wish to take his time and do all this stuff. My first question to you, Carey, and we'll get into Connor McDavid and all this stuff after. If you're Stan Bowman, the GM, how much are you panicking right now?
Well, you don't want to lose a generational talent. You don't want him to not want to resign. So your job is to try to build the best roster around him and entice him to say, these are the things that we lacked these last couple of years, and we got all the way to the Stanley Cup final, but we were not able to get over that hump. This is what I feel like we need, and so I'm adding this, and then I'm paying you whatever number you want within reason. Like, I can't pay you $30 million a year because that's absurd, but I can give you.
You're worth it.
You're worth it. I just don't got enough against the cap, and then if we do that, we don't have enough to pay everyone else. So $15 million, $17 million, whatever that number is, you're going to be an Oiler for the rest of your life. You're going to retire here. Your jersey is going to be retired here. You're going to be in the Hall of Fame, and you're going to be an Edmonton Oiler throughout your entire career. And when you retire, everything you do is going to be Edmonton Oilers. I'm not letting you leave here if I can help it. But I got to make sure that I do the other things to provide you the assistance. I did that with Leon Draisaitl. I got a guy. We got guys, but I got to add some more grit to this team, and here's how I'm going to go about it. And this, and hopefully this is going to keep you here. But it has to be, it can't just be I'm going to throw a bag of money at you, because I've seen that it's not enough with just you, what we have. Yeah. I have to add to it, and I have to be clever and creative and find a way to do so. I'm going to bring you a goalie, probably. Then we're going to find one. But we're going to be a better team than we have been the last few years.
So here's where the Edmonton Oilers, in my opinion, made a huge mistake. and maybe they did this, I don't know. But Leon Draisaitl got market value at $14 million. You can't do that now with Connor McDavid.
You got to give him more.
You can't, though. I'm looking at their roster. Like, you can give, listen, you can give it, but if you do that, you will not be able to build that team around those two guys.
Can you be creative enough with the salary cap going up this year? It goes up again next year. It's going to be $10 million more than what it is right now in 2 years, correct?
Yeah,
and then go up again. So you have to find a creative way to pay him. And knowing that the money is going to go up in the next couple of years,
Here's what I would
have
do.
to be creative.
Here's what I would do.
It's going to be more money year after year, something like that.
I would sit down, but that doesn't matter because they average it out, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. So if incrementally, if you go up, they just go, here's the average. That's your salary cap hit.
Gotcha.
So if I'm the Edmonton Oilers, if I'm the owner, Daryl.
I hear. That might be Marsh.
It's Marshy's headphones. Turn your mic off.
I hear.
It picks up the.
Can you guys hear the mic drops?
Yeah, we can hear them coming through.
Like the whole thing?
I just hear talking.
We can hear talking.
So
So Daryl Cates, who's the owner of the Edmonton Oilers, is a billionaire. Okay. I take Connor McDavid out for lunch, a beer, a coffee, whatever he wants to do.
Whatever he drinks.
And I tell him this. I'll say, Connor, we're going to give you 8 years times $13 million.
Okay.
You're going to be paid less than Leon Draisaitl.
No.
Hang on. But when your career is over, I'm going to give you another 8 years at $10 million a year to be a consultant for the team.
Okay.
So you're not going to get the price that you got as a player, but you're going to get this bonus money.
$23 million.
But you're going to make a whole lot of money. You're going to make another $80 million.
$80 million.
So whatever you leave on the table now, guess what? It's going to be on the table for you later.
So,
but I want to be able to put a winner. You want to win, Connor? Look at me, Connor. Hang on, Connor. You just said winning to you is the most important thing.
Am I the best player on the team?
You're by far the
Am
best
I the best player in the league?
You are.
So why is he getting paid more money than me?
That's fine.
With all due respect, I understand what you're saying.
But Connor, do you know how many people made more money than Tom Brady?
Yeah. How many on his team?
3/4 of the team.
How many on his team?
On Brady's team?
Yeah.
There were more. There was a few.
Nah.
But how many rings did Tom Brady have, Connor?
Got a lot.
Yeah. How many do you have?
I got none.
Don't you want one?
I do. But I also want to be. I think that's a fascinating way to go about it. But I do
unprecedented.
I do think that we all have egos. We all have pride. We all feel like.
But Carey, here's the problem:
the measure of the best is based on. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a
the
measuring
BD club.
stick. Yeah, there you go.
Yep. I know.
We got to measure who's the best, and how do you measure that?
Well,
based on
this,
salary.
it's salary. But. And I understand what you're saying, and I don't disagree with it, okay? I just try to get creative there for a second. But when I look at this roster, you've got Draisaitl, McDavid, Hyman, and Nugent-Hopkins. Those are your best players. And by the way, Nugent-Hopkins did not have a great year this year. After that, Evander Kane, Victor Arvidsson, no disrespect to Trent Frederick, but he's not moving the needle for you offensively. Adam Henrique, Matthias Janmark, Vasily Podkolzin. And let's not forget, you're going to have to pay Evan Bouchard here, too.
Yeah.
And he's estimated right now at like a $10 million a year. So if you're the Oilers, your window is closed right now because the older players that you have as a supporting cast, your depth, are not good. They're not different.
You have an older team.
And you don't have – you let Broberg and Holloway go, and you don't have anything in the pipeline because you've traded away draft picks and that to stock your team because it was a win now.
Right.
So if you're Connor McDavid, quite honestly – I almost think I'd want to leave and find a team that is ascending to where
has the space,
cap space, and then they've got some youth. Like honestly, it's a pipe dream. But the Blues are in a really good situation for that. If the Blues could financially handle taking on a Connor McDavid salary, the young players that are coming up, like you need a team like that where half the team is, still under cost control, restricted free agency stuff. Because that means now you're going to have the money to pay a couple of big dogs at the top of the lineup.
Can Edmonton not listen? Can they afford to lose another great superstar in the manner in which they have already done? Like, can you your fan base,
like
can you,
Gretzky?
can you tell your fan base, that Wayne guy, what did he ever do? We let him leave.
Well, what did he ever do when he left, though?
But
they got to the Stanley Cup final with the Kings.
Yeah, they didn't win, though.
They should have won that. Marty McSorley had a illegal curve, and it cost him a power play goal.
What can you do? I mean, can you let a generational talent like that walk out the door again?
Here's my other argument, too, and this is FedEx Brian brought up a good point, is that, Sidney Crosby, for years, has taken less money.
Mm-hmm.
For years.
Odd. He took $8.7 million because that's his damn jersey number.
It's his birthday, too.
He's a great man. I mean, an all-time great, but that's odd. And he has made a lot of money, obviously, and won championships, and it has worked.
It's worked.
But
I'm sorry. And with the cap going up, too, like you said, over the couple of years, that's fine. But your players are getting older.
Yeah.
Like, Corey Perry can't withstand going 2 more years waiting for the cap to be $10, $11 million higher. Evander Kane, I think his window is closed as a player. Adam Henrique, he doesn't move the needle. Like, I just don't know what you're going to be able to do to build around Draisaitl and McDavid.
I think the best thing for the Western
and you don't
Conference.
Have a goalie. You're going to have to add a goalie that's probably $4 or $5 million.
We talked about where I think they're going for that.
No, we don't want that to happen.
I'm telling you, it's where I'd go because I'm vindictive.
You're what?
Vindictive.
Oh, yeah, that too.
That too.
What'd you say, Marcy?
The best thing, I think, for the Western Conference is if he stays in Edmonton.
I agree.
Best thing for the Blues, best thing for the Pacific Division, best thing all around.
The Oilers become less than.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyways, the Oilers have their hands full with this Connor McDavid situation, and he kind of laid the gauntlet down too, talking about, what did I forget his exact quote. Is it in that audio, Marshy?
He has unfinished business.
His unfinished business, but he also he kind of put the front office on notice too. About basically seeing what they do. He's going to be patient.
That's what I said. They have to do the things around him to entice him and then give him the bag.
But what if they do all those things and he says, "Nah, I'm good."
Well, then you just you made your team better. It's nothing else. Then you build around Leon Draisaitl and say, "Hey, you're up now, big fella."
Oh man. Well, the Oilers certainly got their hands full. Stan Bowman, I don't envy the position that you're in. We talked earlier about Nolan Arenado and whether or not we think he's lived up to the expectations here with the Cardinals. We asked for your mic drops, and you didn't fail us. So we're going to listen to the mic drops and react to those next here on 101 ESPN. Selling your home can be stressful, bottom line. I've sold a few homes, and it's always stressful because you want to make sure that you're hitting the market at the right time. You want to make sure your home looks the right way, that things are updated properly, and you also want to make sure your home is priced accordingly, or you can sit on the market forever. All of those things are really tough to navigate, which is why you need the best in the business when it comes to being a realtor and selling your home, and that's Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria has been in the business for over 20 years. And specifically here in St. Louis, she understands the market. She understands what your home needs to be priced at. One, to maximize what you get for your home, but also sell your home quickly so that stress isn't there. Nobody wants that for you. So please call Gloria Liu. She's going to sit down with you, talk about things, and she's already got the buyers for you. She has thousands of buyers waiting for homes, and if those buyers are in your price range, which there's got to be a bunch of them that are, she's going to guide them to your home, and that will help get you that money and get you to the closing table. So talk to Gloria. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. Her number's 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or you can visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Slate here on 101 ESPN. We're approaching the 5 o'clock hour on Friday, so you can only imagine how giddy we are at the breaks right now. Okay, Nolan Arenado. Has he lived up to expectations here in St. Louis? We've got some mic drops. Let's hear from Robert.
Hey, Jamie in the fast lane. Just leaving a mic drop here on the take with Arenado and the living up to the hype. With the Cardinals, you know, with how long he's been here, I think his defense has been the best part of his, I think you said it was 5 years here. I wish the offense was there a lot more. Like, I wish that offense was like what we had a few years ago when he had almost 30 home runs or whatever it was. But my personal take, I think Arenado has lived up to the hype. I think a lot of fans, especially me, have really started to like him a lot more through the years. So I think for a good majority of Cardinals fans would probably agree that he's lived up to the hype so far.
All right, that was Robert. Thank you very much for the mic drop. Look, maybe I'm wrong, but I do feel like most Cardinals fans are probably okay with what Arenado's been able to bring.
I agree. I think he's done, like I said, I think defensively you brought him here. You knew that he was a Gold Glove defender. Yeah. I think his defense, with the exception of maybe it was 23, 20.
An odd year that year.
And I think he still won a Gold Glove that year. But it was odd to start the year off. Last year he didn't win a Gold Glove, and I think he's on track to probably win it again this year because he's playing stellar defense, and that's what he does. I think the frustration just comes from the lack of playoff wins, the lack of playoff presence from him and from the team since he's been here.
Yeah, so if we do isolate the playoffs, in 2021, his batting average, what do you think his batting average was?
2021?
In the playoffs.
193.
Which was one game, by the way.
Oh.
Zero. He didn't have a hit.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then the following season, in 2 games,
I think he went 1 for 6.
193.
125. He went 1 for 8. So that's why people, I think, when you look at it, you go, I just don't know if he's been lived up to expectations.
Is it solely on him though that they haven't been to the but they haven't been to the playoffs the past 2 seasons, so
that's
we haven't.
Definitely on him.
It's solely on him.
Not solely, but him and Goldie were you're supposed to be your superstars
for sure,
and they couldn't get you to the playoffs 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Now you didn't have much of a supporting cast around them at times.
The pitching wasn't
and
that
great. The pitching wasn't great. I will be a little lenient there, but I don't know, man. All right, let's hear from Eric about this.
I think Arenado is doing what Arenado does. Granted, he was a little bit better of a hitter in Colorado. He was a little bit younger. He's still playing good defense. You got to remember, the Cardinals did not sign that contract. They took over the contract, and the Rockies paid half of whatever, a couple of years. So I think for what we got, I think he's fine. He's still good defensively. He still has a little pop. He's a mental case, that's for damn sure. Just tell by watching him hit. But I think he's probably a pretty good guy in the locker room to have to help the young kids, especially win. But whatever. Haters are gonna hate, as Tay-Tay says.
Thank you, Eric, for the mic drop. Here's
Tay-Tay?
I don't know.
Taylor Swift.
Here's my issue.
Hey,
that's right.
Is that what they call her? Tay-Tay?
I don't know.
I never heard that either.
Never heard her called that.
So one of the issues I have with what Eric said, though, is you said the Cardinals didn't sign him to that deal. No, but you assumed the deal. Like you took it over. And, yeah, the Rockies paid for it for a while. But right now you're paying superstar salary to an average player.
Right. Well, I think that happens at pretty much all the time as players get older, especially if they sign a huge contract in their younger years. Like, by the back end of that contract, you're probably not going to be getting the production that you were getting in the first half of it.
All right.
Sorry. I think that just comes with the territory.
All right, we got one more from David. Let's hear from David about Nolan Arenado.
Hey, I think he's probably played to the level I expected. I'm not sure he's played to the level that most fans expected. You had to look at his age. You also have to look at the fact he played in Colorado, and his numbers were elevated playing there. I mean, he was hitting a lot more home runs. The ball travels better there. His defense has certainly been everything you could ask for. I think maybe part of the big deal is that he just didn't help them win a championship. And that's probably, if there's one place where I'd say he hasn't met expectations, maybe that's it. But as far as his performance, you got to remember as guys age, they start declining. And going to St. Louis from Colorado certainly is going to impact his numbers. Even though he had a couple of really good years there, he's not as young as he was. Pitchers are pitching him away. He can't pull the ball for home runs. And that's what this guy does. He's a home run hitter by pulling the ball. So, yeah, I think he's probably as good as you could expect him to be at this point.
You know, if you get older and you have problems performing, you can always go to BlueChew.com.
Wow, does that happen with?
No, I'm just saying that your performance. He said the performance as you get older.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in BlueChew.com, or if you have low testosterone, you can always visit my friends over at Mentality. Okay. What do you got for Murphy?
Was that? There's three things. That was either the longest pee I've ever heard.
It was impressive.
The longest pour of a drink, or he was simply watering the grass.
Yeah, he's watering the grass.
Oh, he was watering the grass, all right.
Yeah.
It's a pretty impressive stream, too. All right, well, we thank you for your mic drops. We finally have a lineup from the Cardinals. So, lineup game next here on 101 ESPN. First pitch at 6:15 tonight down at Busch Stadium. Cincinnati Reds in town. Who's on the bump for the Reds, Marshy?
Brady Singer. He is in RHP.
Yes, RHP. Yeah, you know me. Okay, so we know that Herrera will not be in the lineup. In fact, the injury might be worse than we thought. Could be 2 to 6 weeks.
That's a problem.
Not great. So, okay, so what are we thinking here? Donnie?
Sure.
I think right-handed pitcher Brendan Donovan makes sense to me.
Let's go.
Show us. Donnie Baseball.
Look at that guy.
Yes.
Vibrant, handsome, hair.
This has been Mason Wynn. Do we...
It was Contreras, though, yesterday.
It was.
That's where things got weird.
I heard you all struggled. It took a while.
Yeah, well,
it took
because
a while.
Oli basically took the lineup and shuffled the deck and just threw it out there.
Well, as long as it took for them to get a lineup out tonight, I would assume it's probably the same. Just anything could happen.
I think Contreras is back in the cleanup.
I want to go. You think he's back in the cleanup? So you think Mason Wynn here?
I would lean that way.
Okay, let's go. Mason, show us Mason Wynn.
Second! Bring me that arm!
All right, so who's batting third now? Because Donnie is obviously... Do you put Burley here?
I would put Burley here.
He's hitting the ball well.
Burley is absolutely raking.
All right. Go ahead.
Show us Alec Burleson.
I thought I told you I'm a star.
You're already acting like you're a star, and we haven't even opened yet.
Now, I think it's your guy.
Show us Wilson Contreras.
What a shame.
Gosh. So is he not playing today?
He has to play.
He doesn't have to play. They brought up Sajasi.
Yeah, so what do you think?
You could put Burley at first base. Yeah.
The cleanup, though, like, there's only two guys in your lineup that profile as cleanup hitters.
Okay.
It's Herrera and
Maybe
Contreras.
it's Nolan Gorman.
He's going to be batting cleanup?
Well, it's not Wilson Contreras. I even wrote down C to start writing his name and heard Jenna say, what a shame.
It's not Newt.
I don't think it's Newt.
They're not going to put Sajasi.
Arenado?
Oh, yeah.
You move him up?
He bat fourth yesterday. Oh, maybe Contreras is fifth.
Did Contreras bat fifth yesterday? I wasn't here.
No, he was second.
He was second.
Show us. Nolan Arenado.
I'm sorry. It's wrong.
You didn't confer anything.
I got excited. Sorry, buddy.
I would say Nolan Gorman.
Go for it. At this point, go.
Show us Nolan Gorman.
Swing Serenade is brought to you by Gorman's.
Dingers! Hang me a curve and I will hit. Dingers!
Now, what is he playing?
Yeah.
We got to figure that out later.
Is he in there for Arenado? Is he playing third base today?
Maybe Sajasi is. I have no clue. Maybe he's not
playing. Playing second base.
Who's catching?
Is he even playing? Who's catching?
Pozo needs to be catching. Damn pass balls.
Not going to get past Pozo.
I don't need to see no
Built
more
like a
pass
cigarette
balls.
machine.
Yeah. Do you put? Are you still batting Arenado in the 6 hole? Because then I would.
Is he playing?
I think he's playing. You're not gonna have Contreras and Arenado sitting.
You think Contreras is playing?
No. I think Contreras.
No.
I think Burley is your first baseman.
Oh.
I think Gorman might be your DH. Depends on how this lineup shakes out. I think this would be Newt.
All right. I mean, I don't have any. I was going to say Arenado.
Okay, go Arenado.
But you said Newt.
Go Arenado. He hit a home run yesterday.
Show us. Nolan Arenado.
Not great.
Oh, go ahead.
Show us Lars Taylor Tatsui Newbar.
No way in hell.
God.
Oh, no.
He even switched he switched it up on me. I saw him switch it up, and I thought I was right. I was so excited, and then he hit me with another one. Maybe it is Wilson. Why would you move him down?
Show us that little croissant. No, that's Herrera. Show us Wilson Contreras.
You guys are such idiots.
Okay, that was harsh, Janet.
She's not wrong.
She's not wrong, but sometimes the truth hurts a little too much.
So we went Newt, we went Arenado, we went Contreras. Contreras is out. Let's just leave it
and
there.
Arenado, well, maybe he's
Arenado
sixth.
is sixth.
Who the hell are you batting fifth?
Maybe it's Sajasi.
Go ahead.
Show us Thomas Sajasi.
Richard, do I have a mark on my face? It really hurts.
Nope, nothing. I thought I hit you on the shoulder.
My shoulder doesn't hurt very much, but my face does.
Okay.
I'm confused now.
So
you got too many infielders.
Well, I think Donovan's playing the outfield.
For who?
For Newt. I don't think Newt's playing. Actually, that's a lie. Newt has to play. Shush.
This is Nolan Arenado.
We
got 5 infielders.
Well, Burley's playing first base.
They're all the entire infield.
Maybe Donovan's playing first base.
Why the hell would he do that?
Because he's done it before. And Sajasi playing second.
I think
Gorman playing
Sajasi
third.
is. So Burley is the first baseman. somehow between Sajaci and Gorman, you got Nolan Arenado is probably out today. I don't think he should be. There's too many infielders on this lineup right now.
So then who's this, Jordan Walker?
Probably. Or Newt.
All right, Newt, go ahead.
Show us Lars Nootbaar.
International superstar.
Nice.
We're back on here.
Watch out, they're running any walls or anything.
So is this Paez here?
This might be Jordan Walker.
Is it Jordan Walker?
Paez or Jordan Walker.
I go Jordan Walker here.
All right.
Show us Jordan Walker.
Dive for every ball. It's boring otherwise, plus it looks harder. The most important play in right field is what I like to call the janitor throw. Guaranteed out every time. I call it the janitor throw because it cleans up that are trying to take an extra base on you.
All right. So this is Paez or Pozo.
I don't think Pozo's.
All right. Show it. You want to do it?
Go ahead.
Really?
I just said Walker.
I don't think it. Show us. Pedro Paez.
Carey's favorite player.
Smithies, throw this at him.
Oh, now you're happy.
I told you.
You're out.
Maybe.
All right, Marcia, is Siani still called up? Show us Victor Scott, please.
Run as fast as you can.
Oh.
Catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
Please tell me what we've got here.
All right. This could be your lineup of the future.
Oh, boy.
It could be.
Leading off, second baseman Brendan Donovan. Batting second, the shortstop, Mason Wynn. Batting third, first baseman Alec Burleson. Your cleanup hitter, third baseman Nolan Gorman. Batting fifth, the DH, Thomas Sajaci.
Spot for him, too.
Batting sixth in left field, Lars Nootbaar. Batting seventh in right field, Jordan Walker. Batting eighth in catching, Carey's favorite catcher, or fetcher, as the as the text line called him.
Damn ball.
Pedro Paez. And batting ninth in center field, Victor Scott the second.
Back. Stay fair. Stay fair.
Go foul.
I don't believe what I just saw.
Home run.
All right, what are the updated standings, Marshy?
Of course, Jamie, you pick up 3 points thanks to Alec Burleson. Carey, you're at 10.
Nah.
With Jamie leading 13. Anthony has 5, and I have 3.
I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
Nor do I want to.
All right. I think that Nolan Gorman has got one in him today.
So Mason Wynn he looks like he's hurting a little bit. Not able to.
Bat looks a little heavy.
What his back look like? His back, leg, something wrong. Something going on. Yeah, I'm just saying. It just looks like it's hurting when he's running around.
Okay. Then don't pick him then, Carey. Okay?
I wanted to.
I know.
Give me Thomas Sajaci.
Oh, I like that. Marshy loves the call-ups, too. He does. That's right in his wheelhouse.
Screw you, Carey. Give me Pedro Paez to hit a home run tonight.
Goodness gracious. We got a lot of
spite.
What did our guy Anthony Stalter?
I don't think he texted anything.
He didn't text in tonight, boys.
I think he got Victor Siani off the bench.
Victor Siani. Must be a new guy.
Is that his cousin?
Victor Siani.
Victor Siani. They picked another guy up, didn't they?
Who the hell knows?
He's not going to play, though.
And he's not even on the roster, Carey.
Michael Siani, he's back down.
We established yesterday that he is not with the big club.
Oh, did we know that? Okay.
Let's give him Barrero.
Yeah,
he might play tonight.
No, he won't.
He really definitely won't.
All right, that's your Cardinals lineup. Again, first pitch at 6:15 at Busch Stadium. A little hot out there, but still probably a pretty nice night to get to the ballpark. Hopefully the Cardinals put on a good performance. Big game against the Cincinnati Reds. All right, where are we headed here now? Andre Pallante. Ooh, boy. He's on the bump tonight, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Now, let's find out, is Andre Pallante potentially pitching for his job tonight? Yeesh. We'll find out right here on 101 ESPN. $21 million on the table right now at Circa Sports in Las Vegas. They've launched two very popular competitions out there, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Again, that's $21 million, and there's no rake. So that means if the entries go above the guarantee, all that extra money goes right back into the prize pool. Now, you have to register in person at one of their locations. Might I suggest the Las Vegas, Nevada location? The weather's beautiful. They've got the stadium swim and back, and they've got the big giant screen. You can watch any of the sporting events that are going on while you're there. But once you're signed up, it's pretty easy. You can manage all of that with your Circa Sports Illinois app. You find it on their website or the App Store. Very user-friendly, very simple to figure out, and they've got great money line splits as well. And they've always got the best odds. That's the best thing for me is Circa Sports Illinois has the best odds of any app that is out there, which means bigger payouts for you. And that's what we want. So combined the app and the competitions out there with Circa Million and Circa Survivor, there's a lot of great stuff going on with Circa Sports. So please download Bet Like a Pro with your Circa Sports Illinois app today, and don't miss out on any of the excitement. If you or someone you know may have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234. It's a fast lane here on 101 ESPN. Andre Pallante takes the bump tonight for the Cardinals. And a lot of chatter, gentlemen, going on around the Cardinal baseball world that, Michael McGreevy came up, pitched well again. And some people think that with Andre Pallante having been average recently, that his job here might be at risk. And here's Pallante's last three starts against the Royals. 4 1/3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 home runs. The Blue Jays, 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk. And then recently in Milwaukee, 4 1/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, but he had 7 Ks. So do you guys think that he's pitching for his rotation spot? And do you think that's tonight?
I don't know if we've gotten to that point yet. I know the runway was supposed to be longer for him than it had been in the past. Him and Liberatore were going to get all the opportunities to start as many games as they could hold and handle. I don't know if we're at the point where you say, Michael McGreevy, if Pallante performs poorly, he's going to fill in that role. And then what do you do with Pallante? You put him in the bullpen?
No, you send him down to Memphis.
Yes.
Why can't he be where Michael McGreevy is right now in terms of the spot start?
Yeah.
If you want to give Michael McGreevy, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people's opinion, is like he's the future of your rotation.
Yeah, but
why
where?
not get him started now? Are you already seeing success?
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I would ask, why would you do that? Because you just saw in his last start, he pitched 76 pitches, and you had to take him out because his velo was down to 84.
I think
87.
that's just based on his last outing, which was Saturday. So he's on 4 days rest. Typically only pitches 1 day a week in Memphis based on their rotation. So maybe that's what it is. But we've seen in the past that he's
but then
done really
there's
well.
no indication that he's going to be able to handle 1 every 5 then either.
That's fair.
I think you're just going to play it by ear. And I think most of these teams are under the assumption at some point somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to have a stint on the IL. They're going to have to take some time off for 10 days, and gather themselves. So you still have those guys on the roster in preparations, break glass if necessary. Yeah. Steven Matz, Michael McGreevy, you have those guys there for that purpose.
So I don't think there's a reason to upset the apple cart just yet. And hear me out, is McGreevy has been in this role all year long. He's been that spot start guy, swing man, whatever we want to call that, the role that he's served. And he's pitching well. I would say he's thriving, right? Mm-hmm. His confidence is high. He knows what his role is. If you flip that and you send Pallante down and you just expect him to be that guy, what does it do to Pallante? And I'm not here coddling Andre Pallante, but now you've really flipped it.
Right.
And so McGreevy's happy in the role that he has. McGreevy knows that at the trade deadline, the Cardinals are going to look to move Fedde, Michaelis, and Matz, one of or all of, okay? And when they do that, that's a spot now for McGreevy to come up full time. So we're talking a month from now, a month and change, to where there might be a full-time spot for McGreevy. So why screw that all up?
Right.
For me, like if I'm Oli Marmol and I'm talking to Mo, I'm like, look, Pallante's been fine. He hasn't hurt you. He hasn't been your worst pitcher. He's had a couple of starts where you're like, okay, they're hitting it around a little bit on him. I'd say let's let him work through this. McGreevy's coming. So Mo, move Fedde, get what we can for him. Now we slide McGreevy in there, and now we're really on the way to where we need to go for next year with Sonny Gray, Liberatore, Pallante, McGreevy in your starting rotation.
Don't hate the idea, Carey.
Instead of now, hey, Andre Pallante, you're going back down to Memphis.
Yeah. And your confidence is now shot.
Yeah. And then what if it ruins him? And not ruin. What if it gets in his head? And then now, maybe he's not an option for you post deadline, and you need to call him up. And now you've got a guy in your rotation that's not pitching with confidence.
It wouldn't hurt though to have a good outing tonight.
It would. I'd love to see it.
It never hurts to.
I'd love to see
perform
it.
well. I mean, it only makes life better for you. You sleep better when you perform well.
Sure do.
Your day is better when you perform well. You get up out of the bed the next day. You feel good about yourself. Good performance goes a long way, Jamie.
It does.
It does.
And sometimes a good performance just sets you up for success beyond that.
Going forward.
You get another opportunity.
You get more opportunities the better you perform.
And every time you perform well, the opportunities, like you said, are more regular.
Yep.
More regular. And then the team, the others, appreciate it very much.
They love a good performance.
They do. They like hard work and good performance.
Going back to this lineup game that we played, though, I mentioned it when I was reading the lineup to you guys. Is this the? Are you laughing at me?
No.
He's not laughing at you.
No, not laughing at you. Carey's just breathing heavy.
Performance tires you out.
It can.
It really does. Sometimes you can only go 5 innings.
Yeah. Definitely want to go 6 or 7.
When it comes to
8 or 9's better for
8
sure.
or 9 is
9 seconds is the number for Carey.
Yeah.
When it came to running,
sprint. Get out of there.
That's all the old ticker can handle, huh, Carey?
Yeah, you got much more than that. Anything more than that is you're asking too much.
Yeah, it's a waste.
Yeah.
But we look at this lineup. I mean, this is all the young guys. This is all the young guys. I'm actually really interested to see what this looks like tonight. This is the future.
Take out, so for me, Pages replaced with Herrera at catcher.
Yeah.
That would be the one change but that means Herrera has to be your catcher.
Yeah.
Right? That means he has to be able to play the position behind the position that he was.
He can't play it any worse than the other guy right now.
Oh, yeah, Pages just, I don't know, man. It's frustrating watching those balls go past him. It's ridiculous. Called a pass ball.
It is.
Yeah.
Went right past him, too.
Went right past him.
But no, you're right, Marshy. It's interesting to look at this lineup right now. And like this, I think, and I do believe this to be true, with the exception of Contreras, I believe this is the lineup they wanted from the beginning of this season, which is why Arenado was priority 1, 2, and 3 to trade, so that you opened up a spot for Gorman at third base, or Sajasi at third base, and Gorman as your everyday DH, or you know, however you want to put it together. I'm really excited. I want this lineup to be successful
tonight.
I would love to see the Cardinals win like 6-2 tonight. Nice little performance by Pallante. Nothing flashy, just gets the job done. And these guys get up there and they rake offensively. That would help the front office with their vision then. And one game doesn't make a season. I get it. But it gives you at least a visual of what it could be.
And we learned, I believe it was last week, that in 3 games doesn't make a season either.
No, it's only 3 of 162.
Yeah.
Our guy Anthony said that.
Doesn't matter at all.
By the way, he'll be back on Monday. For all our listeners who are missing Anthony this week.
How do you think he's doing? What do you think he's doing right now? You think he's touring around?
Honestly, here's what I think he's doing right now. I think he's had a wonderful week. I bet he's had fun. He's enjoyed it. But here's where he's at right now. It's Friday, okay?
He's ready to go home.
No. He's dreading the ride home.
And he's driving.
That's right. So you guys know this. When you're driving to a destination,
it's fine.
It's kind of fine. The kids are good. Everybody's like, yeah, okay. The energy is very positive for the most part. It's tough, but then him and Kristen are talking about packing things up. Got to get Anthony, make sure you pack the truck or the minivan, I don't know, whatever the heck they're driving there. And then the kids are like, I don't want to go home. I like it here. I've had fun. And Anthony's like, I got to drive 15 hours home to go to work on Monday.
That's the killer.
And then I got to drive the kids to their camps and their daycare Monday morning, hustling to work. I got to get caught up on all my Cardinals stuff. I've got to... Anthony right now is not having a good time.
Well, I'll give you a little insight on my trip last week where, for whatever reason, I decided to book a 9:50 p.m. flight home from Minnesota after a wedding that I attended on Saturday. I was giving myself a little bit of time. Some of the other flights were like 9 a.m., 7 a.m. There was zero chance I was getting on those flights.
No.
But right around 1 o'clock... I'm sitting there on the couch at my buddy's place, and I'm thinking to myself, why the hell am I not home right now? And then I go to the airport later in the night, only to find out my flight has been delayed.
Ooh.
So now I'm at the airport for about 3 hours waiting to hop on a flight to then eventually get home at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And that Sunday rolled around with the Sunday scaries, which I'm sure people have endured at one time, maybe many times in their life. And there was nothing more than I just wanted to lay in bed.
Yeah.
So and I was regretting my decision.
Can I give you some advice?
Yeah.
I'm older than you are. I've been through it, as some would say. What did you call me earlier? Old sport.
I thought I was going to say old fart, but I didn't feel like
that too.
Well, that's not a compliment.
What the hell's wrong?
I feel
with
like
you?
that was right at all.
The first thing that comes to your mind is that?
I said
you wanted to say that.
I just knew it was old.
So every year, my brother and I and a bunch of group of guys go to Vegas. It's our Vegas trip. And every year, I schedule myself when I'm leaving to the 7 a.m. flight. And every year, what I do is I stay out all night.
I thought about that. I'm not kidding.
I pack everything.
Yeah.
And I put it right in my hotel room, and I set an alarm on my phone. And when the alarm goes off, I've got to go up to my room, grab my suitcase, and just walk to the Uber, go to the airport, check in, all that stuff, and then I sleep on the flight back. But here's the kicker. the good part is the first flights of the day are never delayed.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that are starting the day off.
True.
So if it's a 7:15 or a 7:25 departure, you're on the plane. You're off and running.
Yeah.
Now, the rest of the day is a little painful, but you're home.
It's true.
So that's my experience.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's why I have you in my corner, Jamie,
always
to keep me updated on these things. I will say I typically drive when I go up there.
Well, then I wouldn't advise that.
I decided this time to not do that. I decided to fly. Yeah. And as the day went along, I was thinking, man, I wish I would have drove.
At least I could be on my way home.
Exactly.
Right now. All right. Okay, it is 5:29 here. We got Beat the Streak, Bet the Board coming at you next right here on 101 ESPN.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Thomas Sajaci has been recalled from Memphis AAA as Ivan Herrera has been placed on the 10-day IL with left hamstring strain. Michael McGreevy has also returned to Memphis AAA following yesterday's doubleheader. Thomas Sajaci in the lineup tonight, batting fifth. He will be the DH. The Cardinals take on the Cincinnati Reds with Andre Pallante on the mound. Brady Singer for the Reds. First pitch is at 6:15. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Tomorrow, we will have some Major League Baseball for you. The Mets take on the Phillies. Pregame starts at 5:30 with the first pitch at 6:15. And then on Sunday, it's Game 7 of the NBA Finals. The Thunder going up against the Pacers. Pregame for that one starts at 6:30. Tip-off is at 7:30. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center Update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
I want to hit baseballs.
All of my successes depend on me.
You're ready to hit.
The hits just keep on coming.
And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
Welcome back here to the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We've got Beat the Streak back in business here. We got Justin, who's still rolling. Justin, how you doing, bud?
Hey, doing well, guys. How you guys doing?
We're good. Not as good as you are, though. Oh, my God, buddy. You're putting on a friggin' clinic here.
Yeah, just taking a page out of DJ Khaled's book. All I do is win. So.
All right. Well, what do you got tonight?
All right. Well, I kind of went back and forth on this. Donovan or Burleson, they're both pretty hot. Donovan's coming off of a 0 for 5, I think. So I think he's going to get back on the snide here and get a hit. So I'm going Donnie.
All right. Brendan Donovan off the board. Who's next, Marshy?
Anthony Stalter's next, and we're in a bit of a predicament because he also is at a streak of 8, and one Anthony Stalter did not give us a pick.
Well, let's try to be courteous here.
So yesterday, his Beat the Streak, he gave us a few different options.
Yeah.
One of them was Nolan Arenado. He is not in the lineup
Correct.
tonight. His second option was Mason Wynn, who is in the lineup, so we can give him Mason Wynn.
That's an easy one right there. Anthony Stalter gets Mason Wynn. And next.
Jamie WU, you have a streak of 1.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to go Alec Burleson.
Carey, it's either you or I. It doesn't matter.
You want to go?
I'll go with Ellie De La Cruz.
Damn it, man.
Why would you let him go? What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I didn't think he was going to go. Damn it.
Marshy always does that.
God bless it. Give me. Oh, goodness gracious. What ridiculous. Give me Gavin Lux.
Oh, wow. Gavin Lux. CD cheering against the Cardinals again.
That's my, you know how I do.
Yeah. All right, that's Beat the Streak. Justin, good luck, buddy. Hopefully we're talking to you Monday.
All right, sounds good, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good weekend and stay cool. It's supposed to be pretty hot.
You got it, my man.
Thanks,
have a great
Justin.
weekend, too.
Thanks, guys.
All right, let's go, Marshy. All right, it's time for Bet the Board. Marshy, what are the updated standings here?
Jamie, you're in the lead. You have 10 points. I have 9. Ooh. Anthony has 7, and Carey has 5.
Attaboy, Carey. You're doing good, buddy. Proud of you.
Breaks beat off me.
All right, this one's easy. Money line tonight, Padres over the Royals, minus 149.
Wow. All right, so my Caitlin Clark pick was absolutely terrible last night. I think she went 0 for 7 trying to hit a 3. Not great. Not great at all.
Going back to the W?
I'm not going back to the W. I'm looking at double plays, and I was thinking, man, Andre Pallante, he's a ground ball pitcher. It'd be great to get a double play from Andre Pallante. However, it's at minus 180, so I can't do it.
Yeah, they said they thought the same thing as you, Marshy.
They knew.
So I'm going to go with the Reds to turn a double play tonight.
Oh, wow.
Minus 130.
Another guy cheering against the Cardinals.
Yeah. Give me Ellie De La Cruz, 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Minus 135.
What does Andy Slater have?
So Anthony Stalter, a huge Mets guy these days because he is in the same state.
You don't think that he...
The Mets are plus 156 against the Phillies tonight. I think Anthony's leaning towards those Metropolitans.
That is a better odd than the Rockies that I thought he was going for.
Oh, is he a Rockies guy tonight?
I mean, they're plus 133. So
that's close.
Austin Gomber on the mound.
Oh, good
former
old Cardinal. Maybe he
versus
does want the
Zach
Colorado.
Gallen.
Hey, why don't we give him Colorado then?
Yeah.
I don't hate it, guys.
Colorado.
Austin Gomber's due.
Yeah. I mean, Zach Gallen is pitching for
he's due for a blow-up, too.
Diamondbacks.
He's a what?
Pitching for the Diamondbacks.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you properly there.
You got your glasses on, too.
My glasses on, too, which is wild. All right, so when you guys, again, this Cardinals lineup intrigues me. You know, like, for you guys, what would the perfect Cardinals lineup look like right now? Like,
in terms of where they're batting or who's in?
In terms of from an organization of what they're accomplishing as a team and what they're developing also.
So are we going current roster, future projected roster? Current roster.
Like you can't trade for people or sign somebody.
No, I'm not going outside.
If you have
the
that person in
organization.
your system, you can use them.
I mean,
in this scenario. Or if they're on your team, you can trade them.
I think, well, if we're going to go current roster, I need Wilson Contreras in the lineup.
Yeah.
And Nolan Arenado.
Okay, so
Herrera.
I disagree.
You don't want those three guys batting?
No. When I look at this lineup, this is pretty much what I want. I don't want Arenado in my lineup. I want him traded.
What?
And I want Nolan Gorman and Sajasi and those guys getting regular reps out there. Herrera, absolutely. I mean, I'll find a spot for him.
He can play catcher.
Play catcher, DH, whatever it is, okay? And I agree with Contreras right now. He makes your team better offensively.
So then that's two guys in. Who are the two guys out?
Paez
is out.
and Arenado.
Well, in this current lineup, if you're going to put Wilson Contreras and Ivan Herrera in the lineup, you got to take two guys out.
So Paez is one of the guys being taken out.
Yeah, Paez for sure.
But Willie would go in for who? A Nolan Gorman? And Sajasi plays third base?
Yeah, no, I would probably take Sajasi out right now. Just Gorman's hitting the ball pretty good. I mean,
Sajasi is too at AAA though.
AAA, that's a little different.
The ball well here.
Listen, Marshy,
he was.
I was a 2-time All-Star in the American Hockey League, 0-time All-Star in the NHL. Okay,
that's because your coaches screwed you over.
No, it's because I wasn't an All-Star.
But you lived like you were one.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I just think that the Cardinals, they can't get confused over what the mission is here. And I just go back to Mo's own words and use it against him, is priority 1, 2, and 3 was getting rid of Nolan Arenado in the offseason. They didn't do that. And it's only going to get harder, too, now. Because
they hindered their process?
Well, not just, it's hindered the process, but Nolan Arenado not having a great year. Again, offensively, there ain't nobody taking that contract. They're just not. I think the Cardinals are going to have to take at least 50%, maybe even more, if they want to move on from him. Because who in their right mind? I know he's good defensively, okay? That's fine. But if you're on if you think your team is a contender, because Nolan Arenado, by the way, he's got a no trade clause, so he can tell you to go spit if he wants. So if you move him to a contender, he might like that. But what contender do you see right now that would take on Nolan Arenado?
It depends on what the lineup looks like and what you need most. If you need a guy that is serviceable at the plate, but outstanding in the field, at third base specifically, you might.
You say serviceable. He's below average in almost every category.
Yeah, but if you have a team of guys that can hit or guys that you trust in those critical moments,
I get what
you
you're saying.
probably don't put as much of an emphasis or much pressure on Nolan Arenado to be a 20 to 25 home run guy.
Okay.
Batting 280. You can get by with him hitting you 15 home runs and batting around 250, 260.
If that's the case, then he needs to be traded to somewhere like the Dodgers.
Or the Yankees.
But where does he play for the Yankees?
Plays third base.
Third base. Who's their current third baseman?
Third baseman got hurt earlier this year.
Did he?
I don't know who's playing now.
Third base is Oswald Peraza. So, yeah, okay. How is old Ozzy hitting the ball here this year?
He's probably fine.
He's batting Let's see here. Why can I not find?
We also have
there's-
DJ LeMahieu and Jazz Chisholm Jr. on your depth chart as third baseman.
Okay, so
you're not one of those guys around.
Well, DJ LeMahieu is pretty good.
Old Ozzy's batting 171, 157 this year. Hell, we talking about?
The Yankees aren't a crazy thought because if the Yankees talk to Paul Goldschmidt at all, Goldie might be able to sway them. Do they have enough offense in their lineup, though, to take on a guy who's not going to give them any?
DJ LeMahieu is batting 244, 2 home runs, an OPS of 667. I just told you what. Is that what you had?
I was just gonna.
What is Jazz Chisholm batting?
So Jazz, this is their lineup tonight. They're playing the Orioles. You have Goldie leading off, first baseman. Trent Grisham is in center field. He's batting second. Of course, you have Aaron Judge batting third in right field. Jazz Chisholm Jr. is batting. He's your cleanup hitter, third baseman. He's batting .230 this year with 10 home runs, 25 RBIs. Old Giancarlo Stanton is your DH. Old Mike Stanton.
Yep.
You have Dominguez batting after Stanton in left field. Anthony Volpe, shortstop. Austin Wells is your catcher, and DJ LeMahieu is batting ninth, playing second base. So where does Arenado fit into that lineup?
I mean, you can say that
Jazz Chisholm is a guy you can play Jazz in the outfield if need be. Or, I mean, if DJ LeMahieu isn't providing, he's batting ninth. If he's not providing what you need, then you can swap him out.
He's got 2 home runs, 9 ribbies, batting .244 with a 667 OPS.
Either way, guys, it's going to be hard to find a home for Nolan Arenado outside of the Cardinals. It's going to be hard.
Not if they take most of the contract, which is what they didn't want to do.
I know, but do you think they're going to change their mind on that?
Nope. Because that was the purpose of it.
So now we'll see. Again, first pitch tonight, 6:15. Your Cardinals versus the Reds. We're at the end of the show, boys. We got one more segment before we get a little bit of a weekend for us. Looks like it's going to be a scorcher, so I love that. By the pool, kick up my feet, have some fun. What we learned, 3 stars of the day, all that great stuff coming up next here on 101 ESPN. this is the end of the show here on 101 ESPN. We talked about a lot of great stuff today. If you missed anything today, or you missed everything today, doesn't matter, it happens. You can go back, download the podcast, and listen to everything again. And that is brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. All right, guys, what did we learn today?
I learned that the better you perform, the more opportunities you get.
That's where we're at. Oh, my God. All right, I actually learned two things. I learned that just because you went to Central Michigan and maybe you played a different position doesn't automatically make you Anthony Stalter.
Yeah, we did learn that.
Yeah. Marcy?
I learned that Jamie Rivers might be the only person that you can give a compliment to, and he'll take it as an insult.
Bro, he looks for anything. This is a man that was running up on people's heels with a shopping cart, looking for a reason. You want to go? You want to go? Sir, I don't even know you. Go where? You want to go?
Carey?
Man, this guy ran up on my heels, asked me did I want to go. I told him no, I didn't want to go. I don't know what the hell's wrong with him. You imagine the conversation when he got home. The hell is wrong with this guy? He dropped his cart and dropped his hands and said, "You want to go?" I was like, I don't. Where is he trying to take me?
I don't want to go wherever you're going, buddy. Oh, my God. I'm a nice guy, too, Carey. You know? You guys got any plans this weekend?
I have a family reunion tomorrow that I will be attending.
Outside.
Inside.
Good call.
Yeah. Inside. But I will, before I go to this, go to the pool.
Nice.
Be safe.
CD?
Not much. Just chilling with the kids, man. Gonna hopefully clean up the house a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, no, not really. Finished painting my son's room. Didn't get it done all yesterday. So got a little bit left to do. Finish that up and then start painting my daughter's room because she wants her room painted as well.
I'll enjoy that.
Yeah.
All right, I've got a little meet and greet tomorrow, boys. Over at the St. Charles Convention Center. Myself, Cam Jansen, Jim Campbell, Tony Twist. We have bare knuckle barbecue sauce coming out, and we've all got our own barbecue sauces. Mine is black guy bourbon.
You better bring it here.
I got a case. We're gonna bring that in there, but we're there from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Come on by, get your picture, sign, whatever. Grab yourself a barbecue sauce. Should be a lot of fun. Again, that's at the St. Charles Convention Center tomorrow. So, all right, where are we at here? Criticisms, compliments?
Yes, we get one from the Water Boys. Very nice. Compliment. Way to go, Rivers.
Yeah.
Only had a couple hiccups this week running the show without Anthony there. I know that means Jamie has to focus really hard to get through.
He does. He doesn't even talk to me during the break.
Only got into a disagreement once with the producer and had 9 players in every lineup except one time.
Yes!
Enjoy the weekend watching your favorite thing, NBA playoffs.
Yeah, can't wait.
He'll be locked in.
That would sure
paying
be.
attention. See what's going on with those Pacers and Thunder.
We get one from Biscuit. Well, missed most of the show, fellas, but I'm sure it was crap. Have a good weekend.
Okay, Biscuit. Go fast lane yourself, Biscuit boy.
The 314 says anyone who criticizes you guys can go fast lane themselves.
There we go.
You
Thank
guys
you.
killed it again, and that is from Justin.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Justin.
Joe Boo's Jockstrap. Great show today, boys. Have a great weekend. Stalter would be proud of you guys this week.
All right. I'll
Appreciate
take that.
it.
Thank you
Yes.
very
Except for when
much.
Jamie talked about him switching positions.
What?
It's
What
singing
position?
you. Hey, you said he was talking about a guy switching positions. You said it was.
Listen, anybody can operate in several positions. Probably going to have a good performance.
You are probably right.
Means they'll be
Get
invited
more
back.
opportunities.
It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 Stars of the Day. Presented by Circus Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
All right, real quick here. Our third star of the day goes to back-to-back Gauntlet answers, the Montreal Canadiens.
It never works. It never works. It worked this time.
You nailed it,
me
baby.
off. I was like, oh,
How'd that work out for you?
Second star goes out to Velo.
Velo.
And our first star of the day goes out to Victor Ciani.
Yeah. All right. Have yourselves an awesome weekend. Try to stay cool out there, but have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. See ya.